Good morning. It's 7 a.m. here on Thursday, May 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of about 86. In hour one of today's show, we'll talk New Orleans Pelicans and react to David Griffin's press conference as he met with the media yesterday. We'll also talk some New Orleans Saints, discuss Clint Kubiak's media availability that he recently had, and we'll obviously talk some LSU football as well. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN and watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number one of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, yo? Welcome back. OTB, another day, another Thursday, which I'm excited about. Means we got another weekend on deck, guys. That's right. Let's go have some fun. May the 4th, Cinco de Drinko. Got a lot going on. Even though, look, I don't know why I'm jumping immediately to this. Maybe I'm feeling particularly ADD today. But, Alondra, how are we feeling about the Ryan Garcia news? Where do we stand? Obviously we got Canelo on deck this weekend, so Mexican pride remains intact. But Ryan Garcia, fresh off that massive win, now being accused of failing a drug test.
Well, I'll go to what Jake said in the group chat last night. They can't come take that $100 I won off of it.
I was kind of wondering that. Can they take Ryan Garcia's $2 million that he won off of himself?
So this is where I stand on it. Maybe this is where I stand on it as of now. I am very none of it makes sense to me.
Yeah,
because if it came out before the fight, why did you let him fight? And then also, why is it coming out all of a sudden now?
Well, yes, Taylor, you can add it and then we'll move on quickly.
ESPN actually, a little bit of clarity. They posted it yesterday. This was after Garcia responded. So they said he failed the doping test the day before and the day of. The tests were taken prior to the fight, but the results were not known until a couple of days ago.
So why even do the drug test in the first place if you're not going to see it until after the fight?
I think that's generally how they do. Well, because you can't get the results immediately, I would guess. But look, it sounds like I don't know. This is not looking good for Garcia.
I don't think so either.
Despite the fact that his boys in the back of his video said it was BS, but.
That was super. That was funny and awkward at the same time.
It was funny and awkward. Also, his tweets are cracking me up right now.
But whatever. We'll get there. Again, Bad Corner Vice. You can check out Alondra's Fightcast that she does weekly. But I think we start the show today. I've been thinking a lot about how's everyone doing? Everyone doing well?
Great.
Excited?
Yeah, I'm ready for this week to be over.
Good. Hell yeah, dude.
Foo Fighters tomorrow.
Oh, Foo Fighters tomorrow.
I'm so excited. At Jazz Fest.
Oh, nice.
Foo Fighters tomorrow and then Cinco de Mayo. What a that is nice. Hell yeah, dude.
I'm so excited. You want to go?
I think I was going to go to Jazz Fest, but I may be bailing. After the chaos of the last couple of weeks and going to Chicago, I think maybe just kicking it at home. And icing it.
Was that a you decision or a family decision?
No, it was me. It was me and Kay. I mean, we've been in this together, so me and Kay are kind of talking about. I mean, we would love to go to Jazz Fest and get inebriated, listen to awesome music, and have a great time as we've done in the past. But 35 years old. Yeah, but then you have
Saturday and Sunday to.
35 years old, though, these bones are feeling a little different. And my God, the idea of just sitting there and
I thought
drinking
Dr. Bob
bourbon.
Got you right.
He did, to be fair. But I used up all Dr. Bob's treatments. I mean, the idea of Friday night just being at home on my couch, drinking bourbon and watching LSU baseball, that just sounds so ideal. I think that's the play.
Also, have you gotten your phone back?
What is this in my pocket?
Look at there. There it is.
Oh, let's go.
Came in the mail yesterday, guys. Yeah. Things are looking up.
Who mailed it back to you?
One of my brother's in-laws, his mother-in-law. It's a weird thing though, where it's scary in how immediate the algorithm was in getting its hooks back in me, right? Like I get it back, and then like the next 20 minutes disappear in Instagram Reels, and it's like, what the hell am I doing with my life, dude?
They're showing you Theraguns.
All I do is DM my wife like 8,000 cooking videos. And I'm always in my head, every time I see one, I say, I'm going to do this. And I maybe do one of every 20. Yeah. But I am going to do this fettuccine Alfredo thing I saw tonight, okay? I am absolutely going to. I just saw it 10 minutes. I am. Because it's super simple. I'm going to go pick up some nudes.
Doesn't happen.
I'm going to go pick up some nudes, and I'm going to do it.
Pick up some what?
Some fresh nudes over there.
He's going to get nudes.
There's this girl that I'm obsessed with on Instagram. She's like
fresh nudes?
20.
Yeah, she's like, speaking of nudes.
She does do fresh nudes. She's like 23-year-old mom cooking for my 4 kids in a trailer park. Have you ever seen her?
4 kids?
In a trailer
23?
park. And she's 23, yeah. And she cooks for her 4 kids.
Please tell me a couple of them are twins,
right up my...
I don't know. I'll send you some. I love her.
I might actually know this girl.
Yeah, her name's Krista Celia.
There's a chance I know this person.
She's from Livingston.
Yeah, there you go.
That sounds right up my algorithmic angle. Cooking videos and Disney. That is what my Instagram is. And I love it. And I would have it no other way. And a random dash of jacked dudes. Just a ton of like jacked dudes.
Is it really that random after the Dr. Bob story yesterday?
Fair. No, I've always, I mean, no, it's not random because to your point, Jake, I've always loved jacked dudes. It's one of the reasons why I loved comic books so much. I know a lot of times people come after like comic books, they say for objectifying women, but I'm like, have you looked at the men's bodies on there as well? I mean, like, everybody's jacked, dude. Everybody's just got like 8-packs. It's awesome. Their traps start at their ears and go to the outer edge of their shoulders. It's like why I read them. Yeah. Anyway, I've been thinking a lot.
Moving on.
About the New Orleans Pelicans. No, about the New Orleans Pelicans. The state of the New Orleans Pelicans. And I got to say, y'all, I think we got a little bit of Chicken Little syndrome going on right now. And I want to see if y'all agree with me or not. Because I think that there were some supremely disappointing moments at the end, certainly. And they hurt, right? The home losing streak, the games against the Lakers, getting swept in the playoffs, Zion's hammy blowing up. A lot of bad, but a lot of bad that happened in about 2 weeks, right? And I think those 2 weeks are outweighing what was objectively a very good year for this franchise. And I think if you can take a step back and try to force yourself to be objective, as the canon would say, I don't know how you don't kind of believe in the current direction. And that's not to say the changes aren't coming, because David Griffin was very clear, and we'll get to the sound. Changes are absolutely coming. But, Jake, let's start here. Let's start with the bad. 0-23 when trailing entering the fourth quarter, right? That's inexcusable. Got to get it fixed. You lost 6 20-point leads in games that you end up losing. You're one of the worst teams, one of the worst clutch teams in the entirety of the NBA, and you struggled at home. Despite this, you win 49 games. And so let's just look at the last 3 years. 36 wins, 42 wins, 49 wins. Most of the last 15 years of the franchise. I would say that's like the most simple, easy metric to show improvement possible right there. Like that doesn't even really take any explanation. But let's dive a bit deeper. You finished 6th in net rating in the NBA. It's really damn good. You finished 6th in defensive rating, 11th in offensive. You finished 4th in three-point percentage. Now, I think you're like 24 in attempts, so you weren't necessarily the most high volume, but 4th in percentage is great. That means you're creating the correct looks. You just want to create more of them in the future. You have the best road record in the NBA. And so, again, that right there, to me, that good far outweighs the bad. Like to reach the 49 wins, to reach those net ratings, and to do it all while being awful in clutch time shows that you have a lot of the foundation built. Now we just got to work on the detail work. We got to carve, we got to work on the finishing touches and the personnel moves they're in. But a lot of people, you dive into the YouTube comments of David Griffin's press conference, and it is almost to a man, charlatan, failure, snake oil salesman, major changes need to be made, fire Willie Green, all this stuff. And I just cannot agree when I look at a franchise that was a joke for so long and now has consistently improved over the last 3 years, just in pure terms of wins, but also, like I said, in things like becoming a modern NBA team, how good they are defensively, how well they shoot from three. Like, I feel like you've done so much hard work to build that foundation. Now we just have to figure out, like I said, the work around the edges, filling in the corners, if you will. And I think it would be very wrong to make a major change, like a head coaching change. We're not talking about like some of the players. We'll get to that. But I overall think that this franchise is heading in the correct direction.
I do as well. I don't think there needs to be coaching changes made. I think it all comes down to players in certain situations, kind of like we talked about yesterday. You have to look at your roster because it doesn't mean that you have bad players, just not players that fit what you need for your roster. So you have to take a look at it. You have to look at the guys that you're paying over $30 million. There's three of those guys, in Zion, CJ, and BI. Okay, well, we're paying them this amount of money, but we're not getting what we need at the end of games. Okay, so you have to take a look at that, and you have to bring in somebody that you feel good about in that situation. If it is bringing in a true point guard, then you do that, and you're probably going to have to move on from one of those players. And like we talked about yesterday, two of them you're probably not going to move on from because Zion, his contract, he signed through, and he was fantastic this year in the 70 games that he played. CJ's contract, what it is, kind of his age as well, and I think he was efficient. So BI does feel like the odd man out in this situation. So I don't think there's like even wholesale changes and just tear it down and let's start. No, it's not even close to that. You have nice pieces. You've drafted in the lottery some players that have missed, but you have hit on, we mentioned it, Trey Murphy. I think Dyson Daniels is not maybe the value of a lottery pick, but he gives you something. Right?
He's a key piece of a playoff team.
Yes. What he can do for you defensively. We talked about Jose yesterday as well. Hawkins, obviously, book's still out on a Jordan Hawkins. Didn't get a lot of run this year. There was, some spurts of, okay, this is what he could be.
Yeah, I think Hawkins is going to be great. I think Hawkins is going to be great. Being a layman, I don't exactly understand why they moved away from him, given what we saw from him at times. But I saw enough to say that, yes, he will be a key piece of this team going forward.
So you've got some really nice pieces. You mentioned the win total getting better each and every year. What they did on the road this year. Was the playoffs a disaster? It was. But you also have to remember you lost your best player right before you entered the playoffs, right? And they didn't really have time. And BI was coming back from injury, so they didn't really have time to create that chemistry that you need. And look, you played the number one seed. I know that, like, as Pelicans fans, you want to be OKC right now because you feel like you should be OKC right now, but you're not. They've done a really nice job of putting that roster together. Like, go back and look at the pieces and the parts that they play on that roster, they fit perfectly.
Yeah, well, and saying you feel like you should be OKC, okay, great. That's like Mississippi State football saying they should be LSU. Like, I mean, it's just objectively not true. OKC's been one of the most competent franchises of the past 20 years in the NBA. You have been the complete inverse. So, like, if that's where your head at is, well, then, I mean, like, wake up because you're living in fantasy land.
But don't you think that some Pelicans fans feel like they should be OKC?
Yo, 100%. But it's like when we talked about LSU football trying to catch Alabama football for so long, and it's funny because this analogy kind of fell apart with what Joe Burrow was. But I was talking about how you have to you can't just establish a space base, a base on like Mars without first building the spaceship to get you there, without first developing. Like, you have to build your way to that point. Now, somebody like Burrow represented sort of like alien technology that you reverse engineered and it leapt you ahead. But I believe that's the same with the Pelicans. And what I'm seeing right now is them building that space program. And they're building a consistency that this franchise has not had. I mean, what was this? The first back-to-back winning season since what, like, in like 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 or 8 years? Like, what are we talking about? And the other thing is, 49 games and you're the 8 seed is actually insane. We don't talk about that enough either. I mean, I know David Griffin pointed this out yesterday, but that would have been good for 3rd in the West last year.
Right.
It would have been good for 3rd in the East this year. Almost any other year, that's going to finish you as a top 4 seed. This was an absurdly good Western Conference that you acquitted yourself well in. So, somebody said T-Bob's feeling very glass half full this morning. That's the thing. I don't think this is a perspective deal. Or like an opinion deal. I feel like this is just an objective analysis of the facts. And the facts are that this is an organization moving in the right direction. And David Griffin, I believe, is doing a good job. And I believe Willie Green is doing a good job, and Trajan Langdon in the front office. And they are starting to build that culture that they talked about from day one. I mean, this used to be a place that nobody wanted to go. It was a complete joke. Now, B.I. wants to come back. I don't know if you'll bring him back, but he wants to be here. CJ wanted to be here. Like, people want to come to New Orleans, and that was something that was so far from the case just a few years ago. All right, sorry, we got a little long-winded. Imagine that. So we didn't get to the David Griffin sound yet. Let's go to break, and when we get back, we'll get the Griff's cut-ups because again, don't take what I'm saying to say that changes should not happen. I'm just talking about, let's be objective, that the decisions made thus far are producing results. And so you should continue to trust the decision makers. Coming up next, let's hear from the decision maker in Dave Griffin. Keep it locked right here. If you're watching on youtube.com/1045 ESPN, hit the like button, and we'll see you on the other side.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
K to Z window coverings, KTOZblinds.com, KTOZblinds.com. You want window coverings that wow, you want K to Z, where it's as easy as ABC 1, 2, 3, whatever you get. Look, you just get in touch with K to Z, Brandon Barton coming at home, give you a free professional estimate, figure out exactly how your home interacts with the sun, and then put together some options for you. And I don't think you realize just how much this can improve the feel of your home, both from a functional and aesthetic standpoint. And they've got all price points. So starter home, home of your dreams, whatever the case may be, K to Z is your answer. K to Z Blind.
Yeah, go check out the video that I just put together for them. It kind of shows you exactly what I was talking about with that outdoor screen that I have and how much of the sun certainly is going to block in your outdoor patio area and also within your home, like the interior of your home as well. KTZblinds.com, KTZblinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
$1 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way.
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson on the Saints, Joe Healy from SEC Extra on the SEC weekend to come in baseball, and Chris Blair talking Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Hell yeah, Ryan. Ryan Brack. Saw Ryan the other day. Can't remember where because my brain doesn't work. Hey, K to Z at my house last week. Brandon, super nice guy. Told him to credit y'all for the recommendation. Hell yeah. That's what we love to see. That's what we love to see. Bilbo Baggins. This so-called foundation is built on a barge in the Gulf during hurricane season. Look, good joke, but it just doesn't hold up under the light of scrutiny. Again, it just doesn't. I mean, to get to 49 wins while being awful in clutch time and have 0 fourth quarter comebacks means that you are doing a lot of things very well. It's how you explain that you were 6th in net rating, but then maybe didn't perform as well as the teams that were kind of around you in that net rating. So I keep going back to the Jaden Daniels example, where 2 years ago, he had so much good foundational play, it was so clear where he needed to improve, right? And when you have a lot of the hay in the barn and you just have these final touches that need to be made, I feel bullish about people being able to get that done. And so, yes, the Pelicans are like Jaden Daniels right now in my mind, between from 1 year to the next.
You also use the other example of Joe Burrow, 2018 to 2019. Sure. Right? 2018 didn't fall off a cliff. There were some things there that you felt great about, you're excited about. Wasn't quite, a finished product, and then it became a finished product.
The only difference there, I would say, is they needed the scheme too to kick up Burrow. Daniels was the same, the same coaches, same everything. He just needed to improve in these areas. And okay, well let's get into David Griffin's comments because, like I said, it's not to say no changes need to be made. It's just to say that I trust the decision makers. Here is David Griffin on the changes that will happen on and off the court.
I think it's more than just specific needs. It's really just about growth in every area of the organization. I think last year we talked a lot and too much was put on the medical side and the performance side, and we didn't talk enough about the other things that we were working on. This entire building is going to undergo a transformation this offseason, figuratively and literally. Really big projects here that ownership is investing in. Mrs. Benson's really excited about changing the look and feel of this. I think that will happen on and off the court.
So, look, some interesting maybe, we talked about kind of increasing just the legitimacy of the Pelicans simply as an NBA franchise, right? The team that once had Eric Gordon and company looking like they were taking a mugshot at the Alario Center, becoming like an actual respectable franchise. Feels like more of that coming down the way. Here is David Griffin on Willie Green.
Yeah, I think the coaching staff did a really good job with a really difficult situation. I think when you've got guys in and out of the lineup in the way we did, that's harder than just having guys not play. I think in the first part of the season, we really performed well. under adversity, and that propelled us to some wins that probably got us further ahead towards the end. I think we went through a stretch there where we lost B.I. and Jose at exactly the wrong time. And then we lost Z at exactly the wrong time. And I think throughout that, Willie stayed very, very authentically himself and stayed in a space where guys knew what he was going to bring to the table every day. I think that's hard when you've got that much change. And at the same time, I think Willie would be the first person to tell you there's room for them to grow and get better as well. And I expect that will happen as well.
Where do you fall on the Willie Green debate, Jake?
I think Willie Green's actually done a nice job. The one thing that, if I'm being critical, there is some things that when you point to the fourth quarter situation, that has to fall on the coach.
100%.
I mean, you can't.
And clutch time, yeah.
Yes, clutch time for sure, but the fourth quarter stats it's almost mind-boggling, right? They're making the final adjustments in the fourth quarter to be able to go win a basketball game, and you're not like to not have a single victory when trailing in the fourth quarter. That has to fall on the coach. And so there's been some good. It is by no means perfect. There still has to be growth, and this is still a young NBA head coach.
And that's the thing, young, right? Like, he has as much room to grow as this franchise does. Here's my deal on Willie Green. You can keep it very simple. I will defend Willie Green until he takes a step back, right? Until the Pelicans get worse from one year to the next, I will defend him, right? And let's say next year they come in with less wins, but maybe they have better. The conversation may be nuanced. I'm not saying if he just takes a step back from a raw win standpoint that I'll immediately be out on him. But again, I'm just seeing year-over-year improvement. I'm seeing a culture that people want to be a part of, and I see a team that values defense, right? And that is finally, like we said, starting to feel like a modern NBA team in terms of how it creates these looks. Fourth best three-point percentage in the entire league. So, yeah, I think Green is the guy going forward for the immediate future. The big conundrum here is Brandon Ingram. And admittedly, reporters tried about 5 or 6 different ways about asking about Ingram and whether or not they would bring him back. David Griffin kind of did his David Griffin presser, kind of dancing around it. But here is one of Griff's answers. This is Griffin 4 here, Alondra. Here's one of Griff's answers on BI.
I really appreciate Brandon because he takes so much personal responsibility for this and he cares so much. I also love the fact that he loves this franchise, he loves this city, and he wants to be here. And we're really grateful that we've built something people want to be part of. I think Mrs. Benson and her team should be very proud of what they've built, that we have so many guys that want to stay a part of this. At the same time, I think his willingness to take ownership of things makes you feel even better about the human he is. And that's the one thing I'm really proud of. I think we've gotten the people part of this right to an enormous degree.
And so, as you can tell, no real answer on what the plans are for Brandon Ingram. And it was tough, man. I listened to the Ingram interview as well, and Ingram's he's a very likable person. Soft-spoken, just kind of puts his head down, goes to work, 2-a-days, all that. We know about his work ethic. And this was a bad year for him. He said it himself. It's probably one of the most, if not the most disappointing years of his career. And it comes at the exact wrong time as the Pelicans are trying to figure out what changes need to be made. And I want to be clear. So we don't have this cut, but David Griffin talked about in this press conference, Jake, that look, the Western Conference is already awesome, and everybody's going to get better this offseason. And he said multiple times they are going to aggressively pursue getting better and personnel changes. Now, what I couldn't quite glean is he seemed to bounce back and forth between saying we need to, improve the ancillary pieces or we need to improve the main pieces. And that's what ultimately we're like only time will tell in the actions they take over the next couple of months.
I don't know what they're going to do with Brandon Ingram. I don't know what they're going to do with the roster. Obviously, it's too early to tell, but there has to be some kind of a mix-up. And I wonder what's going to be the most important part of that mix-up. Is it going to be a rim protector? Is it going to be a true point guard? Because there's something off.
Yeah.
There's something off with the roster in its totality, and it's got some really good players. You still have some assets. But I wonder what that move's going to be. Is there someone in the draft? Is it going to be somebody we went through the free agents yesterday of maybe what you need. I'm wondering what you can do. What is the value of some of your top players as well? This is the last year of BI's deal. Let's see. I know it's over $30 million. I believe it's $36 million number on BI. So like, where are you going to move him with only 1 year left? So he's still young. Like if you did move him, like he's still young, he still has value, but with only 1 year left, like it would have to be a place that would feel really good about being able to re-sign him as well. So
it could be like a sign and trade even potentially.
I mean, you have some pieces, but I just don't know what you're going to value as, hey, we have to get this done. Now, Valanciunas being done, having no contract, you would think that it would be somebody, Larry Nance, we talked about it yesterday. He feels more like the guy's going to come off the bench in the role that he's currently in right now. I don't think Larry Nance is going to be your starting five. So that feels like maybe the place that you want to start with. And will they do that with BI? Will BI be a part of what brings that back in? Those are kind of the questions they have to answer. And I'd be curious, like, where they want to put the most value. Is it a center rim protector, or is it bringing in a true point guard?
Here is, in terms of having some players that are attractive to other teams, here's Griffin on having guys that others want.
I mean, I'd take 7 or 8 more difference makers. No, I mean, I don't know that it's difference makers as much as it is pieces that make the difference makers we already have fit better as well. I mean, we've got the kind of players that everybody wants on really good teams. I think one thing you did see is that our secondary players, our ancillary pieces are very, very good and very well thought of. There's going to be a lot of room for growth for them.
See, even there's a bit of waffling, right? Talking about, I don't know if it's decision makers. Maybe it's like setting them up with better pieces around them. But our pieces around are already very good. So it's like he's not really showing his hand.
I know he's talking about like their ancillary players. You think he's talking Jose?
Yes. Yeah. I think
Larry Nance, Najee Marshall, Trey Murphy.
Yeah, I think Herb. I think all of.
Herb, I think Herb. Yeah.
Based on kind of the give and take with the reporters, I feel ancillary was just kind of like the guys that aren't your $30 million players. I think that was my interpretation of what he was getting at there. Not necessarily like true definition of the word ancillary.
So when he said like we have to make the players that we have work better as well, the first person that popped into my mind was Dyson Daniels because his length is incredible.
Yeah.
He has a skill set that every team would want.
Yeah.
But you also have to give yourself over to Dyson Daniels like in a major role if he's going to be that guy. Like in the playoffs when you were getting cooked, I'm like, man, he's sitting over there on the bench. He's coming in for like 6 minutes, and
he had such big minutes down the stretch too.
And I feel like he could do a much better job right now on SGA than what you currently have out there. Like so that like those are the things I'm talking about. Those are the head scratching moves, certainly late in the game. And when you're getting cooked like they were, it's like, man, I'm sitting here, and I understand you need offense, but you got Jose, you got Dyson Daniels on the bench. Like bring them in for a 5-minute run and let them at least annoy the other team's best scorer because like that's their skill set. So when he talks about players like that, that's kind of the first guy that popped into my brain. You have, a major pick into Dyson Daniels. Salary's not an issue. I mean, he's made $5 million this year, $6 million, and then $7 million the next year. In NBA terms, that's not anything at all. So you have him for a couple more years, develop him because that's a player that I would like to see more of.
I agree, and so
21 years old, by the way.
Man, and he also talked about, look, we have assets, we have draft picks to package, and again, so the overall state of the Pelicans. My final thoughts. Again, I think this is a franchise moving in the right direction. I trust the decision makers, and as Griffin said multiple times, this will not be an offseason of complacency. Basically, they needed to get a good look at this team when it's healthy. They feel like they finally got that look this year, and while there's a lot of good, it also shows there's a lot of room for improvement, and I believe that they're going to aggressively pursue that this offseason. But I feel good. The good outweighs the bad. IMO. All right, when we get back, let's get to a little New Orleans Saints as Clint Kubiak had some media availability. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. 225-888-8888. Really, any area code than all the eights. You get Gordon if you get any sort of personal injury, maritime, any sort of accident like that. You Get somebody who's going to stand up to the big insurance companies and get you what you deserve. You should also follow him on social media at Get Gordon, where there's great videos on what to do right after you get in an accident, how to protect yourself, just kind of general life advice. There's a lot of sit downs and content with your favorite athletes, the members of the G team, gymnasts. There were a lot of national champions on that G team. So check them out today. Get Gordon, get it done.
Go to the website, getgordon.com. There you can find what they can do for you in the courtroom. You can see past client results. You can get a consultation set up on the website. You can get a question answered right there on the website. Now, you can always find them at Get Gordon, like T-Bob said, on all major social media. And you can also call them, pick up the phone, your area code in Louisiana, followed by 888-8888.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. 2 more Saints undrafted free agents join us, Trajan Jeffcoat and Sincere Hainsworth. And Kendall Rogers stops by to preview the baseball weekend ahead in the SEC. It's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB rolling along on this Thursday. Talking a little New Orleans Saints. As Clint Kubiak. I mean, this may be fair to say. I don't know that any coach in the state right now, in any sport, has as much expectation heaped on his shoulders than does Klint Kubiak. He is kind of the lone, bright, shining star of the Saints offseason, right? He is the reason why you are trying to convince yourself that maybe Derek Carr can give you some juice this year. Maybe you can win the NFC South because it was all Pete Carmichael's fault, right? Right. Well, Klint Kubiak is going to be the man to potentially answer that. And we got some media availability as he sat down with, who was it, Mike Hoss and Deuce McAllister on WWL?
Yep, WWL.
So shout out my old compatriots over there. But we finally hear from Klint Kubiak, and it's interesting because basically we have, in talking about Kubiak, Jake, we've done this thing where we just say his name, but really we're saying Shanahan in our brain, right? And like, I don't know that's fair for him to live up to. So let's hear from the man himself. Here is Klint Kubiak on his offensive philosophy.
Well, I think we just want to be grounded and run the football. We want to have an identity that we can run the ball versus 8-man fronts, and that's something we're going to stress to our guys early in the offseason and, building our play actions and building, moving the pocket off of that and trying to be a really good team on first and second down. So that'll be kind of stuff we're dialed in on here in phase 1 and phase 2.
Ooh, Jake, running against 8-man boxes. How are we feeling, dude?
It's something I know very well, something you know very well.
Hell yeah.
From our playing days. Saints ran against a lot of 8-man boxes over the last couple of seasons. Alvin Kamara probably looks up and says, oh, not again. But your hope is the thing that is different when you hear a coach say that is we know that we can actually get to another running play. It is not going to just be inside zone, right? We see an 8-man box, we can have 2 runs. And so, like, oftentimes when you hear a quarterback come up to the line of scrimmage and he's saying Kansas or Kiel, like he's going from a run to a pass or a pass to a run. But sometimes also, like, you can have 2 run plays in there. Now, it's rare, but some offensive coordinators will do that as well. And so, hey, we're going to run zone to this side. We don't have the numbers. And for the last couple of years, the Saints would just run it anyways. But maybe you go to the other side, and maybe it's, a gap scheme, or maybe it's a toss. Maybe it's something different. You can have multiple runs up, or if it's, hey, we're checking to the shade, we're checking to the 3 technique. It just feels like the Saints didn't do any of that. It's like, hey, here's the play it's called. We're going to get up here, we're going to run it, and it's going to be against an 8-man box and a bad look for us. And it's also going to put our offensive line in a bad situation. That's something we don't talk enough about with the Saints offensive line is some of their run game was so basic and had no ability to move to something else that they had to go against boxes that they should never have that run game live against.
Well, and it was so bad that you had Eric McCoy at the end of the year being like, yeah, we started calling play action, and it made it easier. So I actually kind of sneakily love this Shanahan-esque answer from Coobs here as, look, I don't want, all the eggs to be in the Derek Carr basket. Derek Carr is a quarterback that can be very good if you make life easier on him. And the best way to make life easier on him is to run the ball. And Jake, what separates the great NFL offensive lineman from the not so great? The ability to pass block. So if you want to be more run for, that's just easier as an O-lineman. Run blocking is just flat out easier. And so if that can be your identity and you can find more success there, I think it kind of sets everything else up for success on the other end. Go ahead.
The Saints had 28.2 rushes per game, which was 10th in the NFL. San Francisco had 29.4 rush attempts, and they were 6th. So they came in at 6th. Saints came in at 10th. I'm trying to look up how many more yards the 49ers had as a team than the Saints. I mean, that number is not even going to really be close. And so the Saints wanted to run the football. They wanted to have an identity. They just didn't have it. Right, so San Francisco was 3rd with 140.5 yards per game. And the New Orleans Saints were 23.
Yeah,
so attempts pretty close. 3rd, 23.
To me, that just reeks of philosophy more so than anything in how you were getting to run the ball, and that's the great hope with Coobs. Here is Klint Kubiak on his new quarterback, Derek Carr.
I think Derek's is a really good athlete. I think he's extremely accurate with the ball. He's played a lot of football, and obviously a huge part of me getting to come here was the chance to get to work with him. And I've observed him from a long time, just following the league, and he's a quarterback I have a lot of respect for, and just my short time with him has been really impressive. And number one, his intellect and what he can handle and what he can carry upstairs, but just those guys going out throwing and catching right now, that he's in really good shape. It's really important to him to be a great player, and it's really important to me and our coaches that we give him a successful system that he can have, he can build some confidence in.
Pretty empty answer there.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, Kubiak finally getting his chance to be the NFL OC, you're going to take whoever your quarterback is, and you're going to say those things about him. And then finally, here is Kubiak on the 49ers red zone and third down efficiency.
Speaking first to the red zone, it's not one thing. It's being able to run the ball down there, and that's having an identity, getting to run the ball and having success there on base downs in the red zone, so you're not getting into 3rd and 6 from the 6, 3rd and 10 from the 10. Those are tough downs. You want to try to avoid those. You want to score on your base down. So I think that's something that Coach Shanahan really harped on with those guys. As far as the third down, that's a whole nother set of deals, but it's a team game, and we had a lot of really good players on offense, and it all started with them having great protection up front, good decision maker, quarterback, and weapons on the outside. So it's all about the players, and we as coaches just got to put an organized plan together for them.
All about the players may be a bit scary, as the Saints' offensive talent is kind of pockmarked at best. But look, third down efficiency and kind of what he's getting in red zone, that's just all about staying on schedule, setting yourself up for third and manageable, not being in one-dimensional third and long situations, and that would kind of go back to an ability to run the ball consistently.
Yeah, so how do you get that done? And T's right, staying on schedule. What does that mean? That means that on 1st and 2nd down, I run the football, and if I get stuffed at the line of scrimmage, we look up, it's 3rd and 8 or it's 3rd and 9, because we didn't do what we had to do in our early downs. The Saints were 31st in the NFL, 3.6 yards per carry. Okay, they're one of the worst rushing teams in the NFL. San Francisco was 3rd in the NFL at 4.9 yards per carry. So everything is telling you now they've got Christian McCaffrey. I understand that. But you also have Alvin Kamara. He's not McCaffrey, but he's a good running back. And I think you could utilize him better. I think he has a skill set where he can do multiple things, and you were trying to get him to do really one thing. Now, the offensive front, they have to be better, but also they have to be put in better situations. The tight ends, right? Like, you come into this as well. Like, if Juwan Johnson's going to be in there, he has got to be better at the Y position.
Yep.
It can't be, hey, Foster Moreau's in this game, he's the Y, they're running. Hey, Juwan Johnson's in the game, he's the F, they're throwing. Like, you can't fall into tendencies as well. So there's a lot of different factors that play into it, but it does start, and Kubiak just said it there, it starts with running the football, being effective. On 1st down, it's 1st and 10. Let's go get 4 yards. Now it's 2nd and 6, and now we have more available to us. Do we want to run the football again down here in the red area, turn it into 3rd and 2? Do we want to throw a check down, turn it into 3rd and 1? Like, you have multiple options. Or you can take a shot, because now, you have the ability to do so, because you're not going to be 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. So the Saints, like, everything that they want to do is going to be set up off the run, because that's where he's coming from. That's what he knows. San Francisco ran the football and did enough in the passing game to be able to make it a little bit easier on themselves. But you can't be 31st in the NFL in yards per carry. Your personnel tells you should be better than that as well. They draft an offensive lineman because he is a mauler. He is a run blocker. Although he didn't give up a sack, which still, T-Bob and I agree, they don't talk about that enough. And you've got to get Trevor Penning up to a level where he at least can do that. You know what I mean?
100%. Closing out, hour number 1 next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Coleman Roofing and Construction. ColemanRoof.com is the website for Louisiana's most reliable, most respected, most integrity-having roofing company. Look, man, anywhere you need the job in Louisiana, anywhere in the Gulf South region, Coleman's got your back. Let's say you've created you need a big project done, a big commercial project done. Well, they can do that. Any residential work, they can do that. Any type of roof, no matter what it is. They have certified installers for all of your major brands. And like I tell you, it's not just the roofs, but also the construction portion. They do the interiors. as well. If you have like water damage, drywall, anything like that needs to be fixed, tree falls, they got you, man. They are the absolute best. Your one-stop roofing shop, ColemanRoof.com.
That is residential. That is commercial. They can do it all. Any of your roofing needs, new roof, like doesn't matter. You got something that needs a repair, they can handle that. Like T-Bob said, a one-stop shop. They can fix the interior of your home if you got messed up by a leak as well. ColemanRoof.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD.
Charles Haggers, join me and Jimmy Ott for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza. We're talking to Matt Humans and Dwayne Colucci from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm only happy when it rains.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I apologize. Bad clock management by me. We're going to have a quick segment this hour. Right here, like 2 minutes. But not the next 2 hours, okay? We'll do full good segments. Hey, how quickly? No, we'll wait on it. I do want to talk some EA college football later as Chris Fowler. Remember, it is now May, and EA Sports saying that in May we will get our full reveal of the game. So that is coming sometime soon here. Chris Fowler saying yesterday that they have officially finished recording. Him and Herbie have. Even did some work in the booth together. He said he's been at it for 2 years, over 115 hours of recording. He even said that if you go to multiple OTs, Jake, to the point where you're trading 2-point conversions and you throw a pick 2 to lose the game that they have even done a call for that.
Okay.
So they have tried to leave no stone unturned. We also learned yesterday there's going to be multiple broadcast teams. So, like, if it's two big opponents, you'll get Herbie and Fowler. But, like, if it's lesser opponents, you may get, I don't know, we don't know the details on who the other teams are yet, but you will get other teams. So, slowly but surely, we are learning more and more about what's in store here for us come July. That's when they are. And also with the full reveal, I imagine we'll get an official release date, but July is when it's rumored. I can't wait. I'm getting so pumped.
What you're saying is when I make a dynasty with Coastal Carolina, I could eventually have a Fowler, Herb Street.
Coastal Carolina feels like they've been a
Eventually.
little too successful to start off with, though.
Yeah, but I like the teal
No.
feel. I
Oh,
like
yeah,
the
yeah,
teal
Coastal?
turf,
Yeah,
though.
for
I like
sure.
the teal
I'm
turf,
going
though.
straight to Nebraska, baby.
Oh, see, that's way too much.
Let's go, dude.
Gosh, do you even ULM?
Gross. I like the big brands, you know. I need the blue bloods. Hour 2
Front
next.
runner.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
It's just never been for me. My brother's the same way. He used to love to take all the small boys.
Well,
I
that's
like,
where you start, and then you build yourself to be the offense coordinator in Nebraska.
No, I like a bad big team. I'll take a bad big brand to the top. Go to Acton Baton Rouge. That's a good big brand. For all your AC, heat, and electrical needs, you want to go to AccuTemp of Baton Rouge, where they tell you quite a bit, but you know the internet tends to hate everything. But with thousands of reviews, the internet has spoken, and AccuTemp's carrying a 4.9 out of 5 Google review rating, and that's because they prioritize customer service over everything. Service to the highest degree is more than just a well-conditioned pun. Okay, it is their core ethos, their mission statement. And so have AccuTemp out today. Ask about the Star Club membership where they stay on top of everything for you, help you avoid catastrophic issues down the road. AccuTemp Baton Rouge, AccuTempBR.com.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
I'm looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
The best-kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. here on Thursday, May 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 86. In hour 2 of today's show, we'll join by LSU head softball coach Beth Torina at 8 a.m. Then at 8:30, LSU baseball coach Jay Johnson hops on the show. And we may talk a little NFL football somewhere in there as well. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN. And watch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. May 2nd. And we kick it off hour 2 the same way we do every single week, and that is talking to your LSU softball head coach, Coach Beth Torina. Fresh off of a hard-fought Game 3, 1-0 win over Arkansas, and now an SEC slate that is finished. Still a series coming up at Tiger Park this weekend against Liberty, but then we get into the postseason. Coach Torina, what's going on? How are we feeling today?
We are doing great. Excited to celebrate our seniors this weekend. They deserve a big party, so come on out to the ballpark and we can celebrate them.
Look, the berm, undefeated vibes there in Tiger Park. You want to go enjoy some beautiful weather, have some beers with friends, or the kids run around. It's just going to be a great time this weekend in Tiger Park. Coach, last weekend against Arkansas, I again, like every single week, 2 highly ranked teams doing very close battle. It felt like when it's 0-2, you're down 0-2 in the series, you're going into Sunday. What was your message to your team, knowing that you needed to take that last one, that you would finish 500 SEC play? What was the message that Saturday night?
And I think the message was just to continue to fight for Tiger Park, fight for, we don't get swept at home, things like that. So just continue to battle and fight. I mean, I think, as we look through the numbers of this season, it's really been a good season. We got picked as we're RPI number 3. We're the number 2 strength of schedule in the country. That was the message I had for the team yesterday, just trying to explain to them what that looked like. You feel bad because you played the number 2 strength of schedule in the country, so you feel beat down because of that.
Coach, you're playing a non-conference series here to end the regular season. I know last year you played Georgia, I believe, in this spot, and I think the year before was Mississippi State. So typically you finish with an SEC team. What goes into finishing with a non-conference series this year?
Yeah, we had the bye from the SEC this weekend, so tried to fill it, and luckily we found a really quality team in Liberty who's 39 in RPI. They're, at the top of their league. They're a really quality program, so I think it'll be a good test. It'll keep us going, too, as we get ready for the tournament and get ready for the postseason. I don't think you want to take a weekend off, so will be good to keep us sharp and keep us going, and we're looking forward to hosting Liberty.
Coach, speaking of going into the postseason, is there anything in your approach that changes, or in the messaging, or in how you prepare? Because it's obviously most coaches like to say, look, no, this is how we do it. This is a routine. But there is also no denying that tournament play is different than what the regular season is.
I think it just becomes even less about you and more about the team, right? Like our message the last few days have been trying to hit situationally more than, just get hits and feeling the pressure of that. And make sure you move runners, make sure, you're executing the things we need to execute, expecting to have close ball games and tough battles, just trying to make sure that we're prepared to do all the things needed.
Coach, we mentioned like strength of schedule, RPI, and obviously one of the toughest schedules in the country, one of the best RPIs in the country. Is that something like you think your team notices? Like you mentioned, you reiterate that kind of in that last series against Arkansas. Like, is that something your team understands? Hey, we have been through this gauntlet of teams, and so there's nothing that we haven't seen yet?
Well, come to find out, they did not have an understanding of that. You know, when I they didn't, you know, they really thought like everything's based on rankings. And when I kind of gave them this message yesterday of the rankings aren't even in the room for the selection Sunday, like that has nothing to do with it. And I kind of gave them the criteria, the 5 big factors where we are just in really great shape in all of those factors, you know. So once I showed them that, hopefully they felt pretty good about what they've done with this season as a whole. You know, I'm really proud of the season that they've put together, and I think we put forth a great case. So I hope that understanding some of that stuff will give them a little bit of freedom and a little bit of like, man, we've been through it and we've weathered the storm and we'll be better for it.
Is that just kind of an experience and kind of a touch and feel sort of thing, Coach, when kind of knowing when to lead with the rod versus with the carrot, kind of knowing like, okay, this team needs a little positive pick-me-up versus like a little scolding? How do you determine what the correct motivational tactic is?
Yeah, it's tough. I always kind of like flirt that line of like, what is too much information? And like them, you know, yesterday I was surprised at how many of them didn't know all those criteria actually. So I guess that's me trying to shield them at times from like, man, me knowing this game is a must win, man. If we don't win this game, I don't want them to ever have to play that way. So, you know, I try to shield them from that a lot. But I think giving them a little bit of education. And nowadays, too, like they can see all of this stuff right in front of their faces a lot of times, you know, all these predictions and things that happen. So it's better for them to be informed was what I decided yesterday. So hopefully I was right.
What is
we would have to go to like the newspaper or maybe try to find a way to find that information, Coach, when we were all playing. So it is much easier.
What in your opinion, with the teams that have had success in the postseason in the past, what are kind of the common traits, the common denominators, the hallmarks of those teams that find their way to advancing?
They've had great pitching. They've really
imagine that.
They've had great pitching, I think, you know. And then they've just been tough and great. And we know that this team's capable of that. I mean, down to their last strike at Florida, finding a win, having, you know, walk-offs against Oklahoma State and some of the best teams in the country. Like, we know that they're capable of having grit and fight. They've shown us that all year long. So I think this team has all of the makings to keep it going.
Coach, do you do anything different knowing that it is the last series of the regular season as you get ready for postseason play? Like, is there one thing that you try to, hey, we got to make sure we have this covered, or is it like any other series?
I think this week it's nice to be out of the SEC, and not because our opponent isn't quality, because they're very quality, you know, but it's just nice to kind of like sit back, watch it happen, get a chance to breathe a little bit, and maybe just celebrate our seniors in a different way than we've been able to before, you know. So, and if we're going to celebrate a group, I think this would be the one with the seniors that have given so much to this program. It's a big class and a really special class. So I'm excited about that for the weekend.
What about the SEC tournament, Coach? This is always kind of an interesting question that is very, you know, the answer is very contextual kind of in terms of what your team needs. But how do you approach the SEC tournament ahead of the NCAA tournament?
I think we're going to just take it one game at a time, which I know is cliche, but I mean, we want to win, right? We want to go there, we want to play well, we want to make a good showing. So, but I think you can't kind of try to bite off the whole thing in one big swoop, right? Like you got to take it one at a time, one pitch at a time. A friend, Paul Maneri, always used to, you know, play so well in the SEC tournament.
Yeah.
I've picked his brain on this 100 times. And that's kind of how they did it. He's like, hey, let's go there and win a game. Well, now that we're here, let's win too. You know, that's kind of the attitude he always took with the team. And I'm going to try to embrace that with this group. I know they're excited about the tournament.
Coach Beth Torina, go to Tiger Park this weekend. 3-game series against Liberty coming up tomorrow at 6 p.m., Saturday at 6 p.m., and Sunday at 5. Going to be a wonderful close to the regular season, and then the tournament begins for this top 10 softball team. Coach Torina, thank you so much for joining us again every week, and we will talk to you again next week.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Coach Beth Torina, head coach of your LSU softball Tigres.
Yeah, I never knew like strength of schedule and any of that either, really.
Well, football also, in classic dumb football player, it's not that complicated, right? It's just like, especially in our day, it was if you lose, your season's over, and if you win, you get to play for a natty. I mean, like it was pretty natty or bust.
Yeah.
The bigger shock, maybe it would have behooved us, probably not. Actually, it's funny you mentioned that because in 2007, I remember that team meeting in which after Arkansas, but before the SEC championship, Ricky Jean-Francois got up there and was talking about how everybody started talking about championships, talking about all this, all that. Like everybody lost focus on the goal, which is just to go out there and win the game. And he said, no more of that crap. Let's just go win the SEC. Yeah. And everybody did. And then the kind of chips fell where they may. And it all ended up working out. So it is a delicate balancing act between, do you need that information or not? Yeah. But it seems like Coach Torina felt that her team needed a bit of a confidence pick-me-up. Yeah. Right?
Like, hey, you've played one of the toughest schedules in the country.
Yes.
You have one of the best strengths of record in the country.
Yep.
We're really good. Let's just go out there and play our game. I feel like that's what was the message that they needed to hear.
I agree. All right. When we get back, let's maybe get to a little baseball because we got Coach Jay Johnson coming up at 8:30 ahead of a big-time series against the number 1 ranked Texas A&M Aggies. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Community Steel Company, communitysteelco.com, communitysteelco.com. You go to the Community Steel Company today, and, you're going to get live and local service. That's right. Like, they make everything right there on site. All of your metal buildings, roofing, sheet metal, trim, purlin, tubing, accessories. It's all made right there in Gonzales, Louisiana. You can meet the sales team, see the product before you buy it. Great price point. Community Steel Company.
CommunitySteelco.com is the website. Go to the top right corner of the site to see exactly where they are in Gonzales, Louisiana. All you got to do is click on Community Steel. And we tell you every single day, they've been open for over an hour now. They get there at 7 a.m. They're ready to answer any questions that you might have and fill any of those needs that you might have. CommunitySteelco.com is the site again. And that number, 225-647-2020.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the JimsFirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the JimsFirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques, Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly...
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson on the Saints, Joe Healy from SEC Extra on the SEC weekend to come in baseball, and Chris Blair talking Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Dude! Welcome back.
So Bo had a wedding before his wedding?
Yes. So one of the nice things, even though it really takes about 5 minutes online to become a minister, but he is, Bo, my family being from Louisiana, traditionally Catholic, and my little brother has found his way back to Catholicism. And so he recently got confirmed Catholic, and the family that he's married in St. Louis, also Catholic. And so, I think they wanted to be married by an actual messenger of God, not their degenerate older brother. And so, they had a small, intimate ceremony, full Catholic mass with the priest like a couple of weeks ago. And then this was more of just like a party in which I said some nice things about them.
So
they made a really big deal out of their wedding.
Like, not a shot at you, but like, is it less of an honor since you didn't actually marry him?
No, it was awesome. No, not a big deal at all. all it meant is less paperwork for me, which is great.
Fair.
Yeah, I don't mind at all.
But like y'all did like full ceremony.
So this wasn't a wedding that you went to?
I mean, yeah, it's a wedding. Yeah, it's still a wedding.
Like y'all had a ceremony?
Well, no. I mean, what do you mean? Yes, we had. What do you mean? Yeah,
well, that's what I'm saying. Y'all did a fake ceremony since they already got married.
You could call it a celebration. You call it a wedding ceremony.
So I feel like you really didn't even have to like get.
Did you stand up there at the altar and pronounce them husband and wife?
Yes.
Okay. Then
yes.
That's a wedding.
I even lied about, saying that as a minister and the power vested in me by the state of Florida, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Technically, yes, that had already happened. But this is just semantics.
No, that's cool. What would have been funny is that you should have had somebody stand up and object since it didn't really matter anyways.
Yeah, you should have.
Well, thankfully, nobody did. Not even Dr. Bob, who he ended up inviting to the wedding. Actually, him and Harry and Aaron. No, look, I don't know what kind of technical BS y'all are getting at here. But it was a great time. A great time was had by all. It's a beautiful ceremony, two beautiful families joining together, and it was a lot of fun.
No, I was just making sure.
And my tux looked freaking awesome.
I was just making sure it didn't go from a wedding to you be like, no, I mean, we just hung out with family, which is great too. But I was like, you're
again, in a
classified it as
legal
wedding,
sense,
so.
you may be correct.
Okay.
Like in a legal sense, yes. Like I did not legally marry them; they already were. So this was just a giant
But
party.
you performed a ceremony nonetheless.
Yes, it's performative.
Technically, you didn't go to your brother's wedding then.
No,
went to,
not in the strictest of legal senses. No, I did not. Only the parents did. Only the parents on both sides were invited to the actual, to the true legal wedding. But I mean, this is one of those deals where it's like, what is true of the definition of a thing? Is it what it, technically is, or is it what we all societally accept as the definition? And it felt a lot like a wedding this last weekend. It was great. It was great. Daniel Basham, what kind of questions they ask you to become a minister? I did it for my sister's wedding years ago, and I remember just literally spending 10 minutes on a computer, and I was a minister. And I think I had to go to maybe one notary's office for one thing. Took about 2 minutes. And then I remember I had to have them sign some paperwork after the wedding itself. But
now it doesn't matter.
I used to have a card that was laminated that proved I was a licensed minister that could marry, bury, and baptize.
Now it doesn't matter because it wasn't the real ceremony anyways. But did you have to get it? Did you have to get ordained in Florida?
Again, if I was being the legal officiant, I would have. Yes.
Yeah, okay, but you did. But I'm saying
but I did not.
Yeah,
it's great. Like I said, less paperwork, dude. You'll love to see it.
I'm confused by this whole situation.
I am too.
Yeah, T-Bob went to a
I get it. I know he's laid it out. Yes.
Literally. I mean, that's...
And he didn't go to the actual wedding. Did he have any family members at the actual wedding?
They just did the parents.
Like your dad went?
Yeah.
Why not just do like
parents?
Okay.
What?
Why not just do just
In
like
St. Louis?
it all at once?
Because it's like I think they wanted the wedding to be. I think they wanted kind of a destination beach sort of wedding.
I see.
The water means a lot to them. They're from St. Louis. They spend all summers on the Ozarks.
I love the water.
And going down to Florida. But at the same time, like I said, Catholicism, their Catholic faith means a lot as well. So, I mean, I don't think it's that hard to understand. They wanted like a true traditional in the eyes of God marriage, and then they wanted a sick-ass party with all their friends. Like, I mean, what are we talking about here?
No, I mean,
It's
there's probably a Catholic
your
church
dad's going to
somewhere
pay
down
for
there.
it. Would you not all take the same thing? Like, what? Yeah. All this is, Scott Ice sounded like a vacation, not a wedding. It was both, honestly. Wait, you did your sister's wedding too? What in the sister-brother nonsense is it that you officiate your sister's wedding? I don't know. Or your siblings' weddings? I don't know. I guess just because I'm like good at talking or something.
No, that's not weird. My uncle
Yeah,
did
I was
me
about
and
to
my
say,
uncle did me and my sister's
Your
wedding.
uncle did
Really?
too.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. Sorry, have you talked to anybody about that? About your uncle doing that to you?
I really thought when I said me and my sister's wedding, you're going to be like, oh, and it was the same wedding. So I thought that's the joke that was coming. I thought that's the
better, yeah.
How terribly Livingston Parish of you.
I know.
Okay, are we okay? Dan Basham, good job, T. Even though there wasn't any pressure, let's be clear about that. There was a ton of pressure, to be frank. Okay, still everybody there. Still got to be emotional and poignant and write something good. Yeah, I agree with Chris. This is a lot of judgment from Alondra, Jake, and Taylor on someone else's wedding.
I don't think I'm judging.
Are y'all happy now?
No,
Are y'all
I'm
happy?
not.
Have I explained this? Have you subjected our listening audience to enough boring and trite details about the inner dynamics of my little brother's wedding weeks?
Ooh, sensitive.
Yeah, I guess.
Are we done? Okay.
Asking questions.
Okay.
That's all I was doing.
Well, why do you have an FSU hat on? I'm just asking questions. Chat was asking.
Yeah. Because it matches my Bustin' with the Boys little flag on my
Okay.
shirt right here.
Yeah.
See?
Does match.
Boom. That's why.
Taylor's your uncle named Dr. Bob?
No, that is a ridiculous question. It is not. He goes by Robert. So.
To be fair, so did Dr. Bob. He hates when people call him Bobby or Bob.
Well, I just like to be respectful. So he was Robert. He's Robert to me.
LSU baseball getting ready for A&M this weekend. We went over the numbers yesterday. There's not going to be anything on paper that's going to make you feel great about this. I did read a D1 article. SEC Extra I really like subscribing to over there at D1 Baseball. Just a little shout out if anybody wants some good college baseball coverage. Mark Etheridge does a really good job over there. But, we said yesterday that Hunt doesn't think necessarily that 13 will get you in unless you have an A&M series win. Etheridge kind of disagreeing, saying basically they just need 6 of this final 9. And so there are a few pathways to getting there. Now, certainly, obviously, right, this goes without saying, beating A&M in the series would be incredible. But like the must-have, you really just got to get one. You have to get one, and then the pressure's going to be on you because you're going to have to go 2-3, and you're going to have to sweep against two teams that, well, quite frankly, you shouldn't because you haven't been that good. Like Alabama's been more consistent than you, and then who else? And then, well, Ole Miss, their sweep potential there. But even taking 2 or 3 out of Alabama is not something that I think on paper you would say you would expect LSU to do right now. But it's maybe just, I guess what I'm getting at, maybe just a bit of hope that, like, in terms of what's absolutely needed this weekend is not necessarily its absolute series win. It's just you absolutely must get one. Let's be clear about this. If you get swept, your postseason hopes are dead in the water. Unless you would somehow pull out back-to-back sweeps, and even then, getting swept by like every good team might really, I mean, it would be Tennessee, Arkansas, and A&M. At that point, that would probably severely curtail what they're thinking about you in a tournament sort of situations because you would have no real big wins to hang your hat on.
You have an advantage of having those 3 letters across your chest. Again, I said it yesterday. I'll say it again. It's not supposed to matter, but we all know that it does. But still, you can't go out there and get swept again. You can't do it at home. And just, you know, what one game would do for your resume against the number 1 team in the country and RPI and all those things. But you can't just go out there and only beat the bad teams. And that's what you've done so far.
Yeah.
That's kind of who you've been. Like, I agree with you about Alabama. Like, you're going on the road. Alabama's ranked. Like, to just expect to win 2 out of 3 there.
No, you probably won't.
It's going to be incredibly difficult, right? I mean, I don't know that would be my expectation. And so knowing that you still have that. Now, Ole Miss at home, that favors you. But still, 100%. Like, knowing what you have in front of you still, Alabama being the team that they are, like, that's still a lot of work to be done. So the last thing that you can afford to do is get swept again because you just can't guarantee anything in Tuscaloosa. So you have to take advantage of this being at home. Look, you have 2 starters that you feel good about. And 2 starters that even when we look at these series where you've gotten swept, they've given you a chance. Mm-hmm. They've given you an opportunity in the game, later in the game, to go win the game, and you just haven't done it. You got to go find that hit. You got to go find that moment. There's been moments there for the taking. And sometimes it's been a player that needs that moment to take it, like go out there and take it, and that has not gotten done. So it's been there. You just got to go get it.
Yeah, that's the crazy. Like, there's got to be a big moment this year, right? You can't go an entire LSU baseball season without a signature series or a signature win or a signature like, oh, that was unexpected and how well that went. And up to this point, you have not had it.
No.
And so here's to hoping that it all comes together this weekend and you find a way to grind out a series victory over A&M. I mean, at the end of the day, bro, it's the Aggies. Like, come on, dude. They're lame. They suck. Let's go beat them. It's not hard. All right, when we get back, let's talk to Coach Jay Johnson here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Pinnacle Exterior Construction, PECbuilt.com, PECbuilt.com. You want a pool? You need any outdoor living space like a kitchen, anything like that? Fences, bulkheads, pergolas, it's all there for you at Pinnacle Exterior Construction. Go to PECbuilt.com. Please, 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 if you're listening, go to the website and look at the gallery. It's going to blow you away. Their work is so beautiful. And then start to explore the spec pools where once you decide what kind of pool you want, in just 2 weeks, it's installed. You're ready for summer. PECbuilt.com.
Yeah, they're going to give you like a full booklet as well. Like, it's not just checking out 1 or 2 different options. I mean, it is a full book of options, what they can do in like those 2-week pools that we're talking about. So don't just assume that it is just this template where everyone's going to have the same one as you. That is not the case. Multiple options from Pinnacle. Get in contact with them today so you can be swimming here in a couple of weeks. PECbuilt.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. 2 more Saints undrafted free agents join us, Trajan Jeffcoat and Sincere Hainsworth. And Kendall Rogers stops by to preview the baseball weekend ahead in the SEC. It's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. Trying to get in touch with Coach Jay Johnson right now. We always talk to Coach on Thursday. We'll see if we can circle back around and find him. It looks like, okay, never mind. It looks like we got Coach. Cool. We are good to go. All right on. Coach Jay, what's going on, man? Thank you so much for joining us, making time. I know it's a very busy time, as always. Thank you so much, man. How we feeling here on this Thursday morning?
Good morning. Doing great. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. Excited for some more baseball this weekend. Excited for opportunity, right? Here you have a great challenge in the #1 team in the country coming into Alec Box, but I think a lot of this is kind of how you frame it, and that would be my first question. Is that how you approach the team with this, right? Like, because make no mistake, while it's going to be very hard, the opportunity, if you pull it off, to juice up things like resume and confidence, it's just a massive, massive opportunity here.
Yeah, for sure. And, late Augie Garrido, one of the best, college baseball coaches of all time, second to Skip Bertman. People talk about baseball as a game of failure, but it's really not. It's a game of opportunity. And it's really good for us to have this on our schedule still. And, when you talk about their record and those types of things and how that could impact, your RPI or positioning, and really looking forward to the weekend. Great team, as you said, but it's here, and that's a good thing, and excited to get after it.
Coach, is that something you bring up to the team, having this moment in front of you and having the opportunity to go get a couple of wins, maybe against the #1 team in the country? Like, do you try to bring that moment up to the team?
Yeah, I think they're pretty aware. We were talking after the game briefly on Tuesday, and Tommy White actually, stood up and said something about that. And, the one thing, and you can see it over the last 9 or 10 games, our players are still very invested. We've fallen short on the baseball execution side a few times, especially during that first half of the conference stretch. But they're motivated, they're invested, they're competitive, and want to continue to play for a long time. And so I haven't really had to. We know we're in playoff baseball. Like Tuesday night's game, it's like, had we lost Tuesday night, it wouldn't have mattered what we did against Texas A&M. I know that's hard for everybody to kind of understand, but if you dump that game at home, it was too steep of a hill with RPI and those types of things. So, I think they're excited. I think good energy at practice yesterday, but it really has for the last couple of weeks. Staying engaged and invested and competing, and it's just a matter of playing good enough baseball to win.
Well, and look, it's been a good last couple of weeks. Winners of 6 of 8, couple of SEC series wins now finally notched on the belt. And kind of one of the keys in terms of getting that done has been the performance of Gage Jump. And I really, especially like last weekend, seeing Jump and Holman both really have it on the same weekend together. Is it just a time on task thing? Like, what has led to some of Jump's growth here recently?
Yeah, he's super talented. He probably won't be back because of the draft, but I believe he'd be like a front runner for like SEC Pitcher of the Year next year if he decided to, just because of he's got this year under his belt now. He'd only thrown 14 innings coming in, but the stuff has been good enough to compete in every game, even though he hasn't been his best. But I think getting off to the good start that he had while we were building his pitch count up, I think the beginning of SEC play was a little bit of a challenge, like maybe the first time in his life he'd ever given up any runs, Arkansas and Vanderbilt. And he's worked past that. And he's a great competitor. He's a winner. And excited to have him taking the ball here these last few weeks and continue how he's pitched over the last 3 weeks in league play.
Coach, you have a conversation with your other coaches, like when you have a moment like that, and Gage goes out there and you can tell, like, he's getting past some things. Like, he's figuring out how to pitch in the SEC, or maybe on the other side of things at the plate, like Ashton Larson, what he's doing right now. Like, do you have a conversation with your coaches, hey, he's past that point, whatever that point was where maybe he had a governor on, we were trying to be careful with him, he's past that, let's move along and, like, fully embrace what he is right now?
Yeah, a little bit. I love getting the opportunity to talk to Coach Burtman all the time, around here. And something he always talked about is players like graduating through the pressure barrier.
Yeah.
And that's obviously a real thing at this program, at this place, in this league. And for those guys, I think, with Gage, he needed innings under his belt. With Ashton, he's done a very good job, as a freshman, and I think that just speaks to more to him and just his mental strength, his maturity for his age, all of those types of things, to be able to be consistent. And he's probably been one of our most, if not our most consistent guy, just in terms of taking quality at bats. And that's why he's in there, and we'll continue to stay in there. So we're always talking to try to get them all improved individually to help the greater good of the team. But those are two guys that are playing very good baseball right now.
Coach, normally you are used to being the hunted, right? Yeah, like the team with the target on your back. Last year, y'all basically carry a number 1 ranking with you the entire year. What does it feel like to kind of be on the other side of that this weekend, and does your messaging change to your team?
Yeah, no, I think for me, it's like we need to figure out how to take good at bats.
Okay.
we need to keep the big inning off the scoreboard. Eliminating free bases. Filling up the strike zone, play good catch. Don't give them extra opportunity. I think that's where it stands. Like, I don't think that has honestly changed, because we're still the champs, and we've gotten everybody's best shot. We're a more important game on anybody's schedule than anybody else, regardless of, being a little lower in the conference standings. So, to me, it's about the play. And what I will tell you, like I said, is there has been no lack of motivation. I don't believe for the entire season. I do think we've grown a little bit in these last few weeks, not just in how we've played, but how we've approached everything. And we're going to need to do that, here for the duration of the schedule, because, we're playing another good team next week. And when you play in our league, that's all that's lined up in front of you.
Coach, what's the kind of scouting report on Texas A&M? I know you don't have to wax poetic for 4 or 5 minutes, but what are some of the things to kind of pay attention to when you're facing this Aggies team?
Yeah, really complete. Great offense. Really manage the strike zone well. Don't expand, don't chase out of the zone. They obviously have guys that can hit the ball over the fence throughout the lineup. Very old team, with several transfers in there. And on the pitching side of it, very left-handed, I'd say. In my opinion, their 4 best pitchers are left-handed, 2 starters and a couple guys out of the bullpen. And just have playing with a lot of confidence. That would be the thing that I would say more than anything else. They're good. They know they're good, and they play a very confident brand of baseball.
And maybe nobody playing with more confidence right now than Braden Montgomery when you look leading the SEC in terms of conference-only play in ribbies. I think he's right near the lead in terms of home runs. When you have a single player, and like you said, it's really top to bottom in a lot of ways with this lineup. When you have somebody like Montgomery who's playing so strong right now, how individual do you get with your game planning with your pitchers in terms of preparing for a guy like that?
Yeah, very, very, and that's guy by guy, regardless of if they're the best guy in the lineup or the 9th guy in the lineup, and you want to be aware where he's at, and they have a good hitter in front of him, and they have a couple old hitters that can take good at bats with runners on base behind him. So he's positioned well for success and has had a great season, and what's helped him have a great season is, the guys around him are pretty good too. It's just like, Dylan was better with Tommy. Tommy was better with Dylan. Jacob Berry was better with Dylan. It's that kind of dynamic with a couple of those guys, in that middle of the order there. And once you get past them, it's a lot like us, last year where you have Braden Jobert sitting in the 7 hole. Well, he can hurt you. You know what I mean? It's kind of got that feel to it.
Well, look, man, it's a full send sort of weekend, right? Nothing to lose, everything to gain. I can't wait to lock in, and here's to hoping there's some Alec Box magic on deck. Coach, thank you so much for joining us again today, making time for us every single week, and best of luck this weekend.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Coach. You too, Coach Jay Johnson. Always so thoughtful with his time, with his answers. And, man, full send. That is my theme of the weekend when it comes to LSU baseball. There's nowhere to go but up. And in Texas A&M, it is a great challenge. But also, if you win, all of a sudden, all your dreams are attainable. This is a golden ticket series, right? It's not likely that Charlie's going to find that golden ticket, but if you do, then who knows? Maybe you end up in charge of the chocolate factory. When we get back, more OTB. Keep it locked.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com. Go there today and get your next vehicle, whether you're buying new, Toyota certified used vehicle, or you're leasing, whatever the case may be. Maybe you're just renting, which again is one of the reasons why you should get into the service center and the body shop. If you get in an accident, insurance claims welcome, free professional estimates, and they have rental cars right there on site if it's a big job. If not, they have shuttle service, so it's like same day thing. They can drop you off where you need to be and then pick you back up. Either way, they are your best, the best. Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Go there to find your next new vehicle, or go there to lease your next vehicle, or go there to rent a vehicle. You've got summer vacations coming up here in a couple of weeks, probably right when school ends at the end of this month. You've got it ready to go. We'll get your vehicle ready to go for that vacation as well. Go ahead and reserve that vehicle with Miss Lisa Sessions in the rental department, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, Our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $11,000 off the new 23 Dodge Charger. We're open for business in our beautiful new showroom and taking $11,000 off the powerful new Charger. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Yo, Jake here from my friends over at Community Steel Company located in Gonzales, Louisiana. The local place you can turn to for all of your metal building needs. Notice I said local, not Houston, not Dallas, not Atlanta, but right here in Gonzales. Visit them at their brand new state-of-the-art website at communitysteelco.com or pick up the phone and give them a call today to answer all of your questions on your metal buildings, roofing and sheet metal, and any other steel needs you or your business need at 225-647-2020.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, party plank, and vinyl siding. But our number one product is always customer satisfaction.
Charles Hager, join me and Jimmy Ott for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza. We're talking to Matt Humans and Dwayne Colucci from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, this welcome back, OTB. How about this? I told you about how my brother and sister-in-law, how their original Instagram DMs got exposed. In true cultured fashion, he opened with one of the best Star Wars memes ever. But I think he did it. He did not do it thinking of this. But she followed him or whatever, and the next thing he slides in her DMs with a "Well, hello there," and then the next line was, "You look good as heck. Haha, what's up?"
Oh, Bo. You look good as heck.
Ha ha. What's up? The ha ha. What's up is the chef's kiss on the end there. To me, he was feeling a little over his skis, and he had to dial it back with a ha ha. What's up? It's like when people say, "Not gonna lie, you look good." Like, no duh, dumbass. Like the person you're telling that to is beautiful. To say they weren't would be the lie. Like, what are you? Not gonna lie. I hate not gonna lie.
Ooh. Like, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah,
like, no, don't. Just lie to me.
Yeah, exactly, right, exactly.
I can't wait to hit T-Bob with the NGL later on today. In
NGL, text. Not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't ever use it, but people a lot of times use it when trying to be like, not gonna lie, you look good, and that doesn't make any sense because of course you look good. Like, yes, the person already knows.
Can't wait.
LSU. Okay, I want to do this right here. I want to update real quick some Pirtle stuff, and then I want to get to LSU wide receiver Mount Everest. Real quick. Still waiting on Simeon Barrow and Dominic Williams' decisions. We're expecting to have them by the end of the week. Well, which would be tomorrow. Here's to hoping. Also, LSU has reached out to Deshaun Jones, a Wake Forest transfer cornerback, who has a little bit of juice, Jake. As a redshirt sophomore last year at Wake, started 9 games, 3 picks. That's some pretty good numbers. He's visiting Alabama this weekend. LSU trying to line up a visit. We'll keep on top of that.
Just real quick, I know that they still want to add a corner. I told you, I talked to some of the people around the building in December.
Yep.
And they had a couple of corners that they wanted to potentially add. They don't just want to add, but if they can find somebody, a veteran player probably with some experience, they want to add a defensive back and not a safety. They want to add a corner.
And so that's a name to watch out for now, Deshaun Jones.
James Madison just had one go into the portal. I believe it was the deadline. What was the deadline? Was it Tuesday?
Because Deshaun entered on Tuesday as well.
Yeah.
So these are both recent guys that LSU will kick the tires on. I do want to remind you real quick, look, if you want to feel younger, better, stronger, faster, you want to enter the transfer portal and go from old age to new young age, you want Rejuve Me Medical, okay? If you're having facial aging, andropause, menopause, mood and memory problems, insomnia, weight gain you can't explain, not seeing the results from your workout, energy rolling out of bed or into bed, wink, wink, not what it used to be, well, these are all the untreated effects of aging. And I don't care if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, male or female, at Rejuve Me, they're your experts at fighting it. But your body is the guide. So that's what I love. You get a free consultation in which they draw your labs and they customize a plan for you. Maybe it's HRT, maybe it's some glutide, B vitamin shots. They do Botox. They do all sorts of stuff, okay? So go check them out today. Baton Rouge, Metairie, Slidell, Shreveport, and Monroe now as well. Rejuve Me Medical. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me, RejuveMeMedical.com. All right, so Jarvis Landry went on the Rich Eisen show, and he offered up an LSU wide receiver, Mount Everest. And LSU being wide receiver Jake, I think this is actually a very rich topic in terms of the arguments that can be had. And I want to put together an OTB. We may not all agree that it would be our personal list, but I want to put together a consensus LSU wide receiver, Mount Everest. Jarvis said Odell Beckham, Jamar. Yes.
Mount Rushmore.
What did I say? Mount Everest?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever. Mount Rushmore.
I get you.
Yeah. He didn't know where either one's located.
I didn't even catch that.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Everybody knows what you're talking about. A mountain with like rankings.
Yeah.
Odell Beckham. This is Jarvis's. Odell Beckham, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Malik Neighbors. Bit recency bias there, for sure. Also, I actually probably would have put Jarvis over Odell. And I want to do this strictly off college, not NFL.
Right.
I thought Jarvis was a better college player than Odell was. I think he put up better overall numbers, and he had the signature moments. I mean, he had the Arkansas catches that straight up won you games.
Yeah.
Like, I think that, I think Jarvis would go on mine over Odell, but I don't think Jarvis actually makes it on mine. Jake, I'll allow you to start. Give me one guaranteed name on your LSU wide receiver mountain.
I'm giving you one guaranteed name, maybe Justin Jefferson.
That's crazy because he didn't end up on mine.
That's crazy.
He wasn't the number one on the team that he was on.
I feel like he was.
Over Jamar Chase?
I would agree with Jake.
You would go Jefferson over Chase.
I thought that Jefferson was better in
the
college.
The biggest
and he's
play,
better now.
The biggest play in the regular season was Justin Jefferson.
Now, I would say Jefferson has the 2 years, which also helps his case here, versus Chase really having the, 2019 was his truly transcendent year. Okay, so already a little bit of, I did not expect that. I thought Chase was going to be a lock here. So we're going Jefferson over Chase on the OTB list. My first pick has to be Malik Neighbors. He just broke all the records.
Yeah.
And I know that there's not a championship team that he's going to be tied to, and that sucks, but he did lead to a Heisman, and he should have won a Biletnikoff, and he broke all the records. So I think Malik Neighbors has to be on there. Jefferson on there. Taylor, your pick.
I can't believe he didn't win the Biletnikoff.
I'm going to go Josh Reed. That was the one guy that, stands out there. But we just mentioned the other day his record that may not ever be broken of 19 catches in one game against Alabama. Yeah. He was kind of the first. I mean, when you think of LSU wide receivers, but we don't want to be too recent. Like Josh Reed's the name that pops up. Like he has to be on this list.
Yep, I agree. I had him on mine. And then, okay, so I had Neighbors Reed Chase. We now have, are we all in agreement on Neighbors Reed Jefferson?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go Dwayne Bowe?
Oh my gosh.
Michael
I'm sitting here and
Clayton?
I'm looking like just Wendell Davis, Eric Martin, Michael Clayton, JoJo LaFell, Dwayne Bowe, Buster Davis, Jamar Chase.
I mean, do we go Chase? There's a lot on there, dude. But look, what we're gonna go is to break.
Oh, Larry Foster's a name I've not thought of in a long time. You remember Larry Foster, huh?
I actually don't. That's why, and I feel a little embarrassed to say that out loud because I feel like I should.
96.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
I mean, you're giving a look at launchers. You can't help it. Yeah, that's the heart.
I don't know.
Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Looks okay. So we have time to ruminate and convene and figure out our fourth face on Mount Everest. Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Okay. You need vinyl or wood windows. You need vinyl or hardy plank siding. You need any type of door. Maybe you got a little tax return here recently. You're ready to invest back in your home. Check out Tommy's. Go to GEAUXTommy's.com. Make them one of the 3 bids on your project and let Tommy prove to you why they are the right people for the job.
GoTommys.com is the website where you can see all the things they can do for you. And you can check out the work that they've already done, testimonials of what they've already done, and all the happy customers that work with Tommy's. Go Tommy's, GAUXTommys.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of success.
And looking forward to 50 more.
Power up your next project with John Deere Deals by Sunshine. Whether you're working hard or playing hard, our knowledgeable team will help you find the right product for you. Ask us about our amazing tractor package promotions. Learn more about what it means to be powered by Sunshine at sunequip.com.
Good morning. It's at 9 a.m. here on Thursday, May 2nd. Today in Baton Rouge, you can expect rainy skies with a high of 86. In hour 3 of today's show, we'll continue our discussion of which wide receivers belong on LSU's Mount Rushmore. We'll talk a little NFL, and we'll close things out with Ask the Bench. If you missed hours 1 or 2 of the show, you can catch them in the on-demand section at 1045ESPN.com. You can also follow us on Twitter or Instagram at OTB_ESPN, and watch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel. Hour number 3 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, son, dude. Not going to lie, this subject's fun.
To be fair, it's pretty tough.
No offense, Taylor, I hate you. That's another one I don't like. No offense.
No disrespect, you suck.
You can't just say whatever you want.
Yeah.
No offense. I used to have a friend, though, who used to do that sincerely way before Talladega Nights ever came out. He was a big, no offense, and then he would say something really hurtful.
Yeah.
All due respect.
And I'm like, I don't need you to be honest with me, man. I don't want to hear that. You just made me insecure. Nobody needed to hear what you just told me. Anyway, he's very successful now, for whatever that's worth. So maybe being honest with people works. All right. Dan Garrett says it's Mount Rushmore, not Mount Everest. There are no faces on Mount Everest. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of frozen dead bodies on Mount Everest. And to be fair to Dan, he does say, although there are some frozen dead people who never made it back.
Yeah.
That is the craziest part about Mount Everest is just these perfectly preserved bodies, which now have monikers. I don't remember the exact ones, but it's like Yellow Jacket guy and this or that, and you can still see the bodies, but you can't move them because they're too hard to move.
Yeah, they're just vibing.
Just straight up, just vibing.
Well, it ain't gonna get warm enough for them to. They're frozen. They're frozen.
No, they're eternally frozen. Yes,
Mount Everest is so fascinating to me.
Yeah, for sure. Way more fascinating than Rushmore.
I've gone down some Mount Everest rabbit holes before.
I feel like I have as well a couple times too. I remember really liking that movie growing up about K2.
Yeah.
What was it called? Vertical Limit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Vertical Limit was tight. I don't remember anything about it
Nothing,
except thinking
literally
it was tight.
nothing about it except
I just remember it saying K2 kills more people than any other mountain.
Yeah.
Well, stop climbing it, you dumbass.
Right.
Yeah,
why do you keep going up there? Why don't you just wear a spacesuit or something?
Probably because you would fall. I don't know. I feel
probably
like
hard to walk.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah,
hard
or
to
at
walk.
least the helmet.
I think
the
they
helmet.
do wear helmets. Don't people wear helmets?
Yeah.
I feel like they wear helmets.
In the movie, in all
And
the
it doesn't
climbing
work?
movies, they do.
Well, no. I mean, I don't know if a helmet's going to protect you from slipping and falling in an ice shear.
No, but some of them die from not being able to breathe.
Oh, you're talking about a breathing helmet.
Yeah.
With a tank.
I think you bring supplies. I think the people that I am talking way out of my ass.
Yeah.
Well, I know that it's
that the people that die from oxygen stuff probably worked through their oxygen or didn't bring enough.
Yeah.
Or something went wrong with the tank. I think there's a lot that could happen there.
Mm-hmm.
It's why do people die scuba diving sometimes?
I don't know.
I don't know either. The bends, that freaks me out. Don't really know what it is. You rise too fast and your blood boils.
Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Scary
You
stuff.
basically implode, I guess is what it's.
Hate it.
Yeah.
Hate it. I will never scuba dive because of the bends.
Yeah.
If you've been wearing Depends, you may want to check out Rejumi Medical. No, we just
already
did
did that. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to our Mount Everest then. And at this point, y'all, I'm going to continue to say Mount Everest
That's
to troll
fine.
you. Because the conversation continues to evolve here. I'm not, okay, so we're definitely, I would say with a bullet, we're definitely putting Reed and Neighbors on.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see if that changes. But
I don't think so.
I want to fight. I want to fight for somebody that I don't think is going to make it, but I want it to be known that I fought for this person.
Okay. I feel like, okay.
That is my former teammate, Dwayne Bowe.
See, yeah, I knew.
We talked about that a little bit during the break.
Dwayne Bowe, all-time touchdown leader with 26. Second to him, JoJo LaFell at 25. Jefferson 3 with 24, tied actually third with Brian Thomas Jr., and then Jamar Chase has 23.
Hold on real quick. Brian Burgess, do you know who the first Conquer Everest was? Yes, it was Sir Edmund Hillary from New Zealand. Anyway.
I do not know.
So you're saying from a pure numbers perspective, Bo deserves to be on this list.
I just feel like he was so consistent.
Mm-hmm.
He's 8th in yards, 1 in touchdowns, big play after big play after big play.
A lot of big game-winning touchdown plays from Dwayne Bowe. This is true.
Alabama on the road in Tuscaloosa, top 7 matchup. They were undefeated at the time. We beat them in overtime. D'Amico Ryans, Roman Harper, that crew. I feel like Debo needs to be – him and Michael Clayton, like those are two guys that need to be mentioned that probably, because of recency bias, won't fall onto it.
I mean, if you look at my document, in my 4th slot, I literally have Michael Clayton / Dwayne Bowe. But the thing is, I didn't mean it like that. I just meant like we're simpatico there.
Oh, he has it Mount Everest on the dock too.
It is. It's all
like multiple
it's Mount
times.
Everest all over the dock. Oh,
Didn't
that's
even
so
think
funny,
about it.
dude. All right.
It's an easy mistake to make.
I do
in
feel
your
like
defense.
hold on. I do feel like we have to revisit the Chase and Jefferson stuff too, though.
Yeah.
I don't think that says with a bullet. I mean, are we really going to keep a Biletnikoff winner off of it?
Yeah.
Are we going to put somebody who didn't win the Biletnikoff over the guy who did on the same team?
So,
Or the guy who caught, 23 touchdowns, 19 yards a catch? And they both had huge moments, but nobody was bigger in that national championship than was Jamar Chase.
Yeah, I agree.
True.
I know.
I just look at it like I thought Jefferson had a little bit better hands. I could count on him to never drop a pass. Not to say that Jamar had hand issues or anything like that. Every critical third down in that entire season, Justin Jefferson was the guy you went to. He could beat you vertical. He could beat you across the middle. Now, Chase had better numbers, but he was just your deep threat guy, right? I mean, you were throwing it to him more deep down the field. He was your 50-50.
Yeah.
I thought Roundtree was better. I thought he had better hands. I thought he was a more complete receiver.
Take Roundtree and shove it up your ass, Taylor.
I mean,
I think that you had an okay argument when you were talking about maybe the moments. Because
every big moment at
3rd and
LSU
19,
that year involves Justin Jefferson in some way.
Well, that's not true. The national championship was Jamar Chase taking over on those
God,
deep routes that you're trying to spare.
I know. I almost want to put both on there, but we're just trying to find spaces. Like Wendell Davis was a 2-time All-American SEC Player of the Year.
Yeah, and he can't be blamed that he played in a time where his numbers won't stack up.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have to judge him against his peers.
Different time, different offenses.
If you go look at Wendell Davis, like when he left LSU, he was number 1 in every
That's
single
what I'm
category.
saying. So does he need to be up here?
I
And
don't
then
like
who
this.
goes?
Well, but that's why we're doing the Mount Everest so that, again, more people fit on it.
Nope. Only 4.
Okay, I think Jamar Chase needs to be in it.
I would go Chase over Jefferson.
I don't know. I can't.
I don't know if I'd put him over Jefferson. I think
The
they
biggest
both
moment
should
of
be
that
on it.
year, the biggest moment was 3rd and 17 in Austin.
Yep.
And it was Jets.
You can't keep a Biletnikoff winner off the list, though.
What game do you think of, too? You think of Oklahoma, and that was you're like, oh, when were they the most dominant? That was Justin Jefferson there as well. I mean, every big moment, the biggest ones you think of outside of the Natty, I get it, but
I just don't agree with this assertion that all the biggest moments are Jefferson.
Hey, I'll back your argument. Because I think one thing that we forget about with Jamar Chase, he really played 1 year. So when we're talking about all-time stats, right, we're talking about
he's not going to have the career numbers like a Neighbors.
If he would have played that last year, right, the COVID year, he would have all the records.
Yeah, that's probably true.
So, like, now that we're kind of peeling back the layers, I can agree with you there, where very limited time. Because in 2018, he played, but he was a true freshman. It was in the red zone, and he was such a physical freak that's the reason that he plays, because, like, hey, in the red area, like, we're just going to put him out there and we're just going to, like, jump ball, right? Because he was still learning the offense. He didn't have another year to really not pad his stats, but add to them.
Is there a world where Malik Neighbors gets left off this list?
Not in my world.
Okay.
He's the all-time leader.
Yep.
3,000. There's only 2 players ever that have over 3,000. It's him and Josh Reed.
Okay, so him and Reed definitely on. Some either Chase or Jefferson. We can't have both. And then it's got to be Bo, Clayton, or Wendell Davis. Right?
Yeah.
We got to respect some modicum of history here. This hurts. That's why these Mount Everest conversations are so painful.
You just buy it into the bit.
You gotta cut your loves. CB Allen says, I've been lobbying for juice. John Gaines says no juice. I know, bro. I told you I would put Jarvis or Odell, but unfortunately, I don't think either one makes this list.
Jarvis is 19th in career yards, only 15 touchdowns. Like
he
a guy
out there in catches, huh?
Not really. 137.
Damn, that's crazy.
Jarvis is 13th. Buster Davis is 12.
Yeah, and those guys are really good, but also they played in offenses that weren't very exciting. But like again, the Wendell Davis 2-time All-American. What other receivers that we're debating? Is Dwayne Bowe a 2-time All-American? He might be. I don't mean that like he's not. I'm saying let's look that up. Taylor, get on that. And then what about Michael Clayton? I mean, key part of the Natty, or a receiver that was as much of a great blocker. Even though look, he'd make no mistake, he was an excellent pass catcher, but just a dominant blocker.
You want to know a guy that will not even get his name really mentioned in this, but is literally like almost top 5 in everything is JoJo LaFell.
Really?
He's second all time in touchdowns.
What?
Second with 25.
Dwayne Bowe, not a 2-time All-American.
One time,
2006, his final year.
JoJo's 6th all time in yards.
I mean, JoJo definitely deserves to be mentioned. I think JoJo's right there with Jarvis and Odell on the outside looking in club.
Yeah. This is not fun. I don't like this.
Is 2-time All-American enough to sway you? What is Michael Clayton? Is he a 2-time All-American?
Let's see.
He's definitely. I'm almost positive he's an 03 All-American. I don't know about beyond that. Yeah, you think this is hard? Just wait till we play this with DBU. That's going to be tough as well, man.
I don't know. I don't think we're going to come to a agreement here before we get out.
We have to. We have to.
So he was not, but he was all SEC multiple times. He was a freshman All-American in 2001, and he won the Biletnikoff. No, he did not win the Biletnikoff. He was a Biletnikoff semifinalist. So no, he was not. He was an All-American in 03, though.
I'm coming around to Wendell Davis.
I think it has to be Wendell Davis.
I think it has to be Wendell Davis on this list. I think you go Neighbors, Reed, Chase, Davis.
Only 2 players from LSU have won the Biletnikoff. That's Josh Reed and Jamar Chase.
Yep. They both have to be on there. Neighbors all-time leader has to be on there. And to your point, Jake, Wendell Davis, the all-time leader when he left, and 2-time All-American. Probably got to be on there. Let's go to break. Maybe we can finalize in-house. And then, Taylor, you can have your nice social media graphic ready to package up and go. But it's tough. It's tough. But I feel like we're doing good work here. We get back. More OTB.
Off the bench
Munchies.
with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
We got Munchies coming up next, guys. Get your Munchies questions in the chat. Daniel Bashman, OTB doesn't do tier lists. Well, look, depending on what baseball does, tier list season could come sooner rather than later. So get ready, because it's coming back, man. All right.
Yeah. Baseball took us through June last year.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. I want you to go off there off of Airline and Goodwood. Go see our guys today. Check out what they can offer you. Go get one of these Toyota hybrids, dude. Okay? Look, fully electric vehicles, that's fine or whatever, but do you really want to sit there and plug in and charge and whatnot? No. Hybrid, you get the best of both worlds. You get incredible savings and mileage. And look, man, you get that big old Tundra, get a Sienna, whatever the case may be, it's all there for you at All Star Toyota Baton Rouge.
And go to the website today. As we told you earlier in the show, obviously summer vacation is coming probably this month. I would assume most people leave as soon as school gets out at the end of May. Get that rental scheduled today, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial properties. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the
Join me for a Thursday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, presented by Rouse's. Luke Johnson on the Saints, Joe Healy from SEC Extra on the SEC weekend to come in baseball, and Chris Blair talking Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Sup, y'all? Welcome back. OTB. And right now it's my distinct pleasure to welcome in Chef Michael Johnson for some Munchies. Hashtag Munchies in the chat to get your culinary queries in. Chef, what's happening? What's going on, bro? How we doing today?
I'm good, brother. How are you?
I'm doing well. I missed you last weekend, man. Did you miss me?
Yeah.
Taylor's not that fun to do this with, is
We
he?
may do without you, though. I'm not we may do without you.
Okay. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that it was very hard and that everybody was very sad to not have me here.
I wasn't here either.
Yeah, I meant us.
That was a weird way to say us.
I meant to say us. It was just like my words got confused.
Have you ever said us in your life?
No.
I've lost you guys.
You got me? Yep, you got me?
Yeah.
You got me? All right, cool.
Sorry, we're working through some things over here.
Hashtag Munchies. I know we've explored this before, Chef, but as chat gets in their questions, I need a selfish one here.
Okay.
I have lost my way with bacon. I don't know what's going on.
Same.
I started making it in the oven, and it was going really well. And I know that a lot of this has to do with the type of bacon that I'm likely buying. I mean, when I go thicker, that is generally when it comes out better. But like lately, my oven bacon's been coming out like rubbery. I go to fry it, I can't get the timing right on it. Like I just need some bacon basics.
Are you buying the same kind every time?
Well, no, and I should be, but sometimes my wife buys it, and it's like, it's all over the place.
Yeah. Well, and that's going to be part of it. Like if different thicknesses, different. Like there's leaner cuts, that have more meat and less fat. There's fattier cuts, that are going to tolerate more stress. So, there is some relativity to it. But like by and large, I cook my bacon until I smell it. And that sounds kind of strange, but like the bacon will cook in the oven for a while until it starts frying itself, and that's kind of when you start getting the indicator, and then you start checking on it, right? Like, I don't have a magic time for you because different thicknesses of bacon.
Yeah, definitely.
You see what I'm saying? But if another thing, dude, is you cannot walk away from bacon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if and when you walk away from bacon, that's when it's going to burn. So, 10 minutes at tops, I think. What temperature are you cooking at?
So I go 400, and I don't know why I started doing this, but I remember like reading that you can kind of put it in and let it heat up. Like, I'm not necessarily putting it into a 400 oven. I'm just throwing it in there and then put it on 400. And then I'm not going by any strict time. I'm just looking at it.
Yeah, so that putting it in there first and then letting it heat up is going to impact it as well, because you're not putting it in. And do you have a convection oven? Does it have a fan in it, or does it?
I don't think so. I think I just have a conventional oven.
Yeah. Okay. To me, I always go into a hot oven. You're going to get it more even cooked that way.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's going to kind of slowly. It doesn't even render out. Like it just kind of gets warm and like, I don't know. Like
it's been like a little chewy, and I feel like that's like maybe like missing a little bit of that crispiness. Okay.
Yeah. So take the time to preheat your oven, and if you're going to do something for your bacon, instead of putting your bacon in, to the oven cold, pull your bacon out on the sheet pan and let it sit out at the room temperature for a little while.
Yeah.
So you're not putting cold bacon into a hot oven. That will definitely impact something.
Okay.
Some ovens, when you preheat them, they'll actually spike to, like, if you're putting it on 400, it might spike to 415, and then say, put your pan in. And the reason for that is that it kind of anticipates the oven door opening, it taking, probably going to be cold product in, so that your oven temperature doesn't dive off too far, so that, you lose all your oven heat. So, some smart ovens will account for that. But, when you, I think you're overthinking it, T-Bob.
You've given me no. You've given me a lot of good tips, Chef. Yeah. I'm gonna get back in. I'm gonna get back in the kitchen. We gonna attack this thing.
What about the Hasselbecks? Did you attack it yet?
Not yet. I apologize.
That's a pretty brave one still.
Maybe tonight with a little Alfredo I'm gonna make. We'll see. Hashtag Munchies. Have you ever put crab boil in mac and cheese or mashed potatoes? If so, what's the proper way to do so?
Very lightly. Yeah, I definitely have. And you know what I like to do is, instead of putting crab boil in it, I'll like boil the stuff in the crab boil so that it's a little bit more delicate. You know what I mean? Like, if you boil your potatoes in crab boil, one of my favorite things on earth is after a crab or crawfish boil, you take the potatoes and the garlic and the sausage and all that stuff and make like a potato salad out of it. Oh man, it's got my mouth
amazing.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Hashtag Munchies. Between peanuts, almonds, and cashews, which is your favorite nut butter?
I eat cashews.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, my kids. I have allergies on two different sides for my kids. For one of them is allergic to peanuts, which is actually a legume.
Oh wow.
And then another one of them is allergic to tree nuts. So we don't keep much of any of that stuff around, to be honest with you, just because it's dangerous for my kids.
It's funny because Jake's allergic to these nuts. Hashtag Munchies. What seasoning does Chef put on his beef roasts when he slow cooks them?
I'm a purist, man. I do like to take whole black peppercorns and toast them in a dry skillet, and you like swirl them around in the skillet until they start smoking and smoldering a little bit, and it has almost like a floral smell to it when it happens. So you dry toast them and then crack them, and like that just, I don't know, it's next layer for seasoning any kind of meats, to be honest with you, when you toast the whole peppercorns. But kosher salt and black pepper, like every once in a while I might put something a little spicier on there if I'm feeling like more heat. But when it comes to proteins, man, I like tasting like whatever the muscle tissue is. If it's lamb, I want to taste it. If it's fish, I want to taste it. I don't go overboard with marinades and stuff anymore. I did when I was a younger man, and like played around with it, and because it's like a chemistry experiment, right? But I don't know. I've done all that stuff so many times that now I'm really more focused on the animal itself, and I like tasting the food.
Chef, obviously you're always trying to find ways to get protein into the athlete's diet.
Yep.
Give me like a protein maybe off the beaten path, like something that is packed with protein, not chicken, not your usual suspects that maybe y'all serve over there for the athletes.
We've really been playing around with a lot, and it's a really great for breakfast is overnight oats. There's putting maybe even adding a little bit of whey powder or something into it that adds a little bit more protein. But you put fruit into it, you can put a little honey into it or agave nectar or something, and like the oats have carbs in them, and I don't know, you can like put peanut butter in it if you want to, but it's one of those things that really gets you kind of juiced in the morning with a natural juice, like a natural go, and it lasts a little bit longer because of the carbs. And the sugars from the fruits hit quicker.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just one of those things that there is some protein in it, but then, like we actually add protein powder into it as well. And it's good for a morning workout as well.
Hashtag Munchies, what type of butter do you use for what dishes? And it's like very wide ranging. I guess do you use different types of butter for different dishes?
Yeah. Really, we only use unsalted butter. We don't use salted butter at all. I typically kind of lean towards like a European style. It's a little bit creamier. But honestly, here at the Nutrition Center, we don't use a whole lot of butter at all. It's lots of olive oils, almond oils, like walnut oils. Even in the fryer, it's canola oil because it has a certain level of, like zero trans fats, and it's a healthier fryer oil. It also, it depends on the smoke point. Like you got to pay attention to when the oil breaks down in the heat process, because if it's breaking down, it's not doing what you need, and it will denature the oil. So some of that definitely depends on what the cooking process is. Butter has a very low smoke point. Some people will cook with ghee or clarified butter or whatever, and that's fine. But we use a lot of olive oil, to be honest with you, and we use super high-end olive oils that have really crazy polyphenol levels that are just healthier for the body.
Chef, obviously, like talking about healthier options, like no matter what you're doing, and I agree with you there, I try to do all those myself, but why in the world do they make it so expensive to try to be healthy in this country? Because like you go to the grocery store, and if you're trying to be healthy, I mean, it's like double what you would pay for the other stuff. Like, I just don't understand why they can't find some kind of a middle ground to make it easier to have a healthier lifestyle.
Man, you're going to take me down a rabbit hole here, Jake, because, if you look across the Midwest and the belt of, you call it the Corn Belt, right?
Yeah.
But yeah. We could be growing all kinds of stuff there. But instead we grow corn, and we stockpile corn, and then we make this syrupy substance out of corn, syrup, and we put that stuff in everything, and it's not good for us. We could, by and large, it's a huge export, but the United States, the government subsidizes that corn to the farmers in order for them to, sell it to other countries instead of us, consuming our own. And it has longevity as well. Corn, that type of corn can sit and dry for, years at a time versus the volatility of fresh vegetables. Just to be honest with you, fresh vegetables, they are, if things go bad, you lose a whole crop.
Yeah.
The farmer doesn't make any money. The people don't get fed. This is it. You have to look back to the history of time of humanity of hunter-gatherers and farmers, and hunter-gatherers live shorter lives and a more volatile lifestyle, and farmers, stockpile stuff and live, off of the hope that things go well this year. And it's the way our country was built, to be honest with you. And it takes the entire population, or at least a significant, percentage of the population, to start making that demand of higher quality foods, or at least more fresh foods, and I think we also have to take a look at the idea that there are ugly foods out there that, are bruised or, that have slight blemishes, and we just kind of toss those to the sides for the ones that are attractive to the eye. And those, there's a significant amount of those that get tossed into a pile, and maybe they get composted, maybe they don't, but they produce greenhouse gases. And, I mean, we don't handle the food correct from the beginning. I don't want to go off the deep end here, although I feel like I already have, but, I mean, therein it's a mouthful.
Yeah, I mean, I know we've talked about food waste before on this program, and it's something that I still keep thinking about ever since you mentioned it a couple of months ago. Wait, so what happens to all that bruised food?
Most of them are just disposed of, or some of it's like apples. For instance, they would turn into apple juice, or oranges turned into orange juice. But then you have like potato companies that, if it doesn't work, they turn it into mash and might feed cows. It just depends on the place and how readily available it is. I think most places will try to find a consumable for it, to turn it into something that they can sell. But it isn't going to the human consumption necessarily immediately. A lot of times it goes to animals and to a byproduct of that.
Hashtag Munchies. We'll do a big one and then a tiny one to end here. Smoking my first brisket on a pellet grill. Rub Rex and how long to smoke? Pre-wrap, post-wrap, 225 or lower. Jeff?
Hello.
Yo, we got you. Did you hear my question? Jeff? Let me call him. Yo, can you hear us? I can hear you. Can you hear me? I love you, boo-boo. Can you hear me? Well, it looks like that's going to be it for today for Munchies. Chef Michael Johnson. We love him. Let me text him real quick. Damn, I want to know his favorite all-time food with a brewski. We'll come back next week. You want to keep doing the show?
I'm hungry.
I am pretty hungry too, dude.
How those overnight oats sound so good right now. And he said peanut butter. I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, peanut butter.
He said put a little white powder on them, and T-Bob was in.
That's right. Always. In moderation. So actually not always. All right. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, 925-8552. Central Plumbing's been at it for 50 years, not 15, 50 years, guys. Flat rate pricing, licensed, bonded, and insured, 24/7 emergency service. Excellent warranty once the work is done. I don't care if it's commercial or residential. They're your one-stop plumbing shop. They've seen it all. They can fix it all. Go to centralplumbing.org today. Centralplumbing.org.
Who was that?
It's okay. That's my drill sergeant voice. Drop down and give me. You think your pipes are broken, soldier? I'll show you.
That's your drill sergeant voice?
I'll show you.
We'll work on that,
soldier.
just like Central Plumbing can work on anything that you have.
It's hard to do a drill sergeant voice without
emergency
cursing.
service, 225. What?
Yeah, it's hard to do a drill sergeant voice without cursing, is what I'm saying.
I bet Philip Rivers could do it.
Yeah.
Centralplumbing.org. Centralplumbing.org.
No, I'm being.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Brack, your #1 park system in the nation.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
When it comes to ending cancer, we push forward, always working together for you. That's why our cancer experts at Ochsner have clinically integrated with MD Anderson Cancer Center. This means advanced cancer care, including access to life-saving clinical trials and integrating care to treat the whole you. Introducing Ochsner MD Anderson Cancer Center. Long live you.
Jerry and Benny Payne began Central Plumbing Company out of their driveway in Tanglewood subdivision. 50 years later and 4 generations down the road, we continue to serve Baton Rouge and the surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Residential, commercial, industrial, or hospitality, Central Plumbing is here 24/7, 365.
We want to thank our customers, family, and friends for 50 years of...
Moscona inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR. 2 more Saints undrafted free agents join us, Trajan Jeffcoat and Sincere Hainsworth. And Kendall Rogers stops by to preview the baseball weekend ahead in the SEC. It's AFR 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I want you to know that I'm happy for you. I wish nothing but the best for you.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
We still cannot find a consensus answer in studio.
I'm Switzerland
for Jefferson Chase.
I'm not helping.
Well, then what are you doing?
I'm not
then
helping.
Stop. Then make a choice. Be a man. Hit the hole. Stop half-stepping. You're dancing around in the backfield. Get north and south. Okay? Because I clearly think it should be Chase.
Look,
Taylor clearly thinks it should be Jefferson.
All right, so I just put it out there on Twitter. Who was the #1 receiver for the 2019 LSU football team? So go to Twitter at Jacob Hester 18 and cast your vote. I don't think we can have an answer before we get out of here today. Don't think we can. I think the science needs more research.
Look, I mean, Chase played in 1 less game. He had 25 yards more per game. He had 2 more touchdowns. He won the Blitnikoff. We are deciding between awesome and awesome. So, this is not to say, so whenever you get into these conversations, it sucks because you unavoidably end up talking negatively about somebody that's awesome. Or it sounds like you're being negative about somebody that's awesome. That is not the case. But And look, I looked up game logs, and to be fair, they were both really good in the biggest games. But to me, Chase played 1 less game, still had more volume statistics outside of catches, and in the national championship, this man went 9 catches, 221, 2 touchdowns, 25 yards a catch.
Yep.
The biggest moment in the regular season was Justin Jefferson against Texas. The biggest moment in the postseason was Jamar Chase all game against Clemson.
Yeah.
Right, so they had moments. God, they were both so good. And I think the only person that could, answer this for us would be Slinger. If we called Insminger, and he'd hey, what's up, you big dummy? And then he'd answer our question.
I wonder
Coach,
I wonder what he would
when
choose.
it was 3rd down and you were calling the play.
Chase had the bigger game against Alabama. Florida, they both dominated.
It's an interesting argument because I agree with you, T. Like,
I mean, the Oklahoma game is crazy for Jefferson.
Well, see, that's what we were talking about. We were like, Chase had the big game against Clemson. Jefferson had it against Oklahoma. It really just depended on who the
Clemson was a
defense
way
keyed
better
in.
team. Clemson was a way better team than that Oklahoma team.
Jamar Chase out to a early lead, 73% of the vote right now.
Jamar Chase against Clemson. Who's he squaring up with there?
It was A.J. Terrell.
Yeah, for the Falcons.
Was
He's
their
been
wide
a
receiver.
really good
their
pro.
corner one.
Yeah.
Been a really good pro.
I mean, he
in fact, like he dominated him so bad that when we were doing draft coverage that season, like that draft after that, I laughed when the Falcons picked him because like, oh, he's bad.
Yeah, because
I saw what Jamar Chase
is.
It's like, no, Jamar Chase just made him look bad. He's actually really good.
So at first I was with Taylor, with Justin Jefferson, but I don't think we can let leave a Biletnikoff winner off.
Sometimes you got to keep it simple, you know?
And Jamar Chase is a beast.
Should 2018 matter if we're looking at career?
No.
Should that matter?
I mean, I'm not going to say. I think it's an inexact science, and yes, like I said, that works in Jefferson's favor. In 18, he was the guy, but you still have 2 Biletnikoff winners in school history.
No, I get it.
Can you hold the Biletnikoff winner off of this list?
Well, you're putting one on to Malik Neighbors, even though he wholeheartedly should have won the award this year.
That's what I'm saying. If y'all want to get rid of Neighbors and just put Jefferson and Chase on? Get rid of Randall Davis, get rid of Josh Reed. I don't feel good about that.
I don't feel good about any of this. I don't like any of this.
I think one representative from the 19 team gets it because that team was so overwhelming.
I agree.
I don't think both
they
end
both
up
deserve
on there.
it, but you can only put one.
Yeah. Who gets on Everest?
What's wild is I would probably I'm leaning more now Chase now over Jefferson, but like in their careers now, I would take Jefferson over Chase.
Well, I think Jefferson's the best receiver in the NFL right now, right? But we're talking about college, what they did in college. And I think it should be Neighbors, Reed, Chase, Wendell Davis. Final answer.
I mean, I'm not mad at that list.
I'm going I'll be honest with you. I think I'm doing like some of this list just because I feel like I have to. Because if I was creating my own, it would probably be Jefferson, Chase, Neighbors, Bo.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, that was my original
recency
list
bias.
Too. Yeah.
I was alive when Wendell Davis was playing for LSU, but obviously I don't remember it.
Well, and that's why we're trying to honor the objective stat that Wendell Davis has in being a 2-time All-American, where none of those other guys have that. So regardless of numbers, he outperformed his peers to a different level than did anybody else in LSU history. I say we book it. I feel like we've landed on that, and we just, we obviously put that like there's a lot of greatness on the outside looking in on this list, but that is the 4. Put it on social media. All right, there it is. Mount Everest done. When we get back, let's do some Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Hard Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Trash Rangers. Check it out, y'all. If you live in Livingston or Ascension Parish, you want to head over to Trash Rangers. It's TrashRangersLLC.com or TrashSignup.com, where in just 3 minutes, you can see the number of cans, select your pickup days, and see the prices. And remember, these are local guys that work for you. Trash Rangers.
Go to the website, TrashRangersLLC.com. You can find all the information, to sign up, to get maybe an idea of who they are. You can check out the reviews, 4.7 out of 5, with now over 3,815 reviews on their website.
And remember, if you need roll-off dumpsters, okay, any size you need, anywhere you need it, there's not just Livingston Ascension, get in touch with Trash Rangers, the local. They don't have to check with any national overlords or anything like that. They work directly with you to serve you and your waste management needs. Go to TrashRangersLLC.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Elevate brand visibility, ignite customer engagement with the power of radio and digital advertising combined. Guarantee Digital Media brings the two together as a trusted media partner in Louisiana for nearly a century. Claim your free digital audit at GuaranteeMedia.com.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. For years, you've heard me tell you about Insurance Network of Louisiana, helping you find better coverage for less money. But it's not just for your home and auto. They also offer commercial property. So, retail stores, professional offices like doctors, dentists, attorneys, clothing boutiques. Insurance Network of Louisiana can find you better coverage for less money. They service the entire state of Louisiana, and they're local. So call today at 293-0450 or LAinsurance.
Charles Hager, join me and Jimmy Ott for the Thursday edition of Live at Lunch from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar and Town Square Pizza. We're talking to Matt Humans and Dwayne Colucci from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. Thursday on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
I'm high, but I'm grounded. I'm sane, but I'm overwhelmed. I'm lost, but I'm hopeful, baby. And what it all
comes down to, there's too many good names for the list. There's a lot of names, guys. A lot of names. I think we already nailed it, though.
No, I haven't agreed to finalizing.
You're being worse than Switzerland, because at least Switzerland is like, look, we'll handle all your banking needs. So you war criminals, fine, but give us your paintings. You're like coming out after the decision's made and being like, no, I actually don't like this.
No, you're the only one that's pushing sin. Like, Alondra hasn't agreed to it.
No,
Taylor
she actually just agreed to it at the end of last segment. And Taylor said as well, I have no problem with this list.
Okay,
no,
well,
I mean, like, would it
as
be
the
my
elder
list?
statesman here, I have a problem.
The only thing I said is that I agreed with Chase over Jefferson.
Then take Wendell Davis off, Jake. Take him off. Take off your 318 brethren like you so desperately want to. Do it. Do it.
I'm trying to find the updated. Gosh, we already have 214 votes on this. Jamar Chase, 69.2%.
We can just let democracy decide that one if we want.
It looks like it kind of has.
Cortland Jacobs is going to say, sentimental nod to the past, preventing you from placing one of the best wide receivers of all time on the list. Again, to be clear, I think it's more than that. Find me the full list of LSU receivers that have been two-time All-Americans. Is there another one?
I don't know, but honestly, the list I'm looking at only shows Wendell Davis once. So, but this is consensus. So I think he was an All-American on one list.
Year. I don't think you're going to have any two-time consensus All-Americans.
Yeah. We know Jefferson and Chase were not.
By the way, get your Ask the Bench questions in. We'll get to them in a second.
I put clean and it didn't do it.
Good job.
Good
wow. On
catch.
it, dude.
Sometimes I forget that on SiriusXM, like, you can say, like, they don't encourage it, but you can say, and Budden dropped that same word that she just cut out and just kept on rolling. I'm like, my local radio brain will not allow me to, like, hear that and just not think anything of it. Just like on snaps. I mean, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. Ask the Bench, brought by Cold Curse Lab. Visit our Tilted Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Suite. What's a harder Mount Everest for LSU? DB or linebacker?
I think running back.
DB, just because we've had more standouts.
Yeah.
It's probably got to be DB.
I think running back's incredibly difficult.
Running back is hard.
Well, I think any position is going to be hard, right?
Yeah, quarterback wouldn't be hard.
Yeah, I don't think quarterback would be hard at all.
Well, what? You'd have Burrow, Daniels.
Tommy Hudson. Your fourth is up for debate, but I mean, those three are in it.
Those three are in.
Tommy Hudson had every passing record until Joe Burrow broke
Then it goes into the conversation of Burt Jones, Flynn, Jamarcus.
Rohan, he had that big year his last year. Yeah, but those three
Yeah,
in
those
it.
three, though,
There's
they're
4 or
all
5 that you could debate for the fourth spot.
That's us right now.
But I think DB's the hardest.
Lost but hopeful.
Yeah.
Yeah, DB stuff.
Ask the bench, favorite female pop singer ever.
Ooh, this is tough.
Pop singer?
I mean, right now, I'm very into Chappell Roan. But I don't know. I'd have to think of the
Duffy's
past.
great. I don't know if y'all remember Duffy. Duffy is great. Definitely.
I mean,
went through a
Kylie
Duffy
Minogue
phase.
is pretty up there.
Legend.
I'm used to that G being silent.
Jewel, would Jewel fall into this? I know she
Minogue.
tries to be a little folky, but she's kind of poppy.
Yeah,
I'd say
Jewel,
Jewel's
yeah.
pop.
I mean, Christina Aguilera, Genie in a Bottle still slaps.
Christina.
I mean,
yeah.
Britney probably for me, actually.
Yeah,
But again,
I
Chappell
don't
Roan
know.
shooting up. Ask the bench.
Ooh, ask the bench, Full House or Family Matters? Family Matters. 100%.
I think Full House.
Wait, why is my brain not working? Family Matters, Urkel?
Urkel.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
For me in my life,
I love the dad
I
on
loved Urkel. Love. What's the dad's
Carl?
name? I'm like, yes, love.
He was irritating.
Carl
Oh, yeah,
Winslow?
Carl. Yeah, Carl Winslow.
Carl Winslow's awesome.
Yeah.
But
No, Urkel.
Pat
Urkel was
Benatar's a
irritating.
great answer, by the way.
did I do
But isn't she rock?
What a time. Did I? And like the idea of the having
Yeah.
a slogan or a trademark. No, for me it was Full House. Full House.
Yeah, Full House is great.
But both are awesome. This is like the Jefferson Chase debate here. Ask the bench. What do you think of Schlossnagel saying an SEC team got caught sign stealing? I haven't seen this. I have seen the Georgia pitcher clearly doctoring balls.
For sure. And then when it sticks in the catcher's mitt and like doesn't move, I'm like, come on, dude, what are you doing?
Well, the only thing to me is like, Jake, and you probably know better than I do, I just never know in baseball when cheating is actually cheating. And that's where it gets confusing. Am I supposed to be mad about this? Or if I looked more closely at LSU, would our guys be like doctoring balls in the corner of the dugout? So I never know what to be mad
Well,
about.
our bullpen's right there for everybody to see.
True.
So they can't doctor baseballs.
I mean, the
Or
Georgia
their
guy
glove.
was pretty obvious about it. He just straight up went in the corner, applied it to his glove, and then you could see
I'm
him.
going to say
the John
that's
Boy
not
breakdown was perfect.
That's not the first time that he's done that.
No, yeah, I would think so. Electric close, though, Electric save. Ask the bench, which two defensive tackles do you think the Tigers will get? It's looking like Barrow, you have a good chance of landing. I'm not sure on Dominic or Demonic.
Just get 2.
Is Taylor the Kimmy Gibbler of OTB? Yes.
Why?
So many
Because you're
reasons.
annoying and you're always there. You're intrusive. You speak when unspoken to.
Unspoken.
You assume a lot.
Like
you assume that I want to hear what you have to say, or that I want you to walk into my office and talk to me in the morning, or that I enjoy working with you.
No, I did not assume any of those things, actually.
God, do you remember when Mario and Taylor were here and they would be having like full on sports conversations,
just
like it's
arguing.
6:35 in the morning? You're like, bruh.
It's
How
never
are
too
y'all?
early.
How in the world are y'all having that conversation right now at this time?
Ask the bench. Why is T-Bub's Urkel and Drill Sergeant the same? They're not the same.
They're very similar.
Did I do that?
Shout out Taylor. He helped me out when I had a migraine yesterday.
Really?
And
He
this
actually
morning-
is like the go-to guy for migraines. He always has.
Oh, he
the
helped me
meds.
out this morning too. My car's in the shop and he picked me up.
What?
Oh,
Right.
that's shout out.
Well-
That is yeah.
And last Friday.
And last Friday, yeah.
Look at that.
Shout out
Okay.
Taylor.
Maybe he's
More
a
like
team
a
player.
your grain.
Maybe he's a team player.
T-Bub's
Maybe
shocked
you're.
over
Maybe
here.
maybe it's you.
Maybe a broken clock is right twice a day.
It was
I don't
3
know.
times that he's helped me already.
Yeah, so
Ask the bench. Favorite intramural sport while in school?
Softball.
Softball. I don't know if that's intramural, but
Yeah, I mean,
like for
yeah,
me.
we had a team, FB. It was for football, but we called ourselves the Effing Badgers.
Creative.
Honey Badger don't
That's
care.
Flynn. He put FB.
Honey Badger don't care.
Quidditch.
Oh, God.
Love y'all. See you tomorrow.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
OTB, not to brag, is partnered with the largest privately owned electrical and instrumentation contractor in the entire nation, okay? And I'm talking about the MMR Group, and I'm talking about the fact that it's right here, headquartered in Baton Rouge, with offices all over the globe, okay? You want to be a part of greatness? You want to be a part of MMR. If a dynamic culture with outstanding benefits, incredible opportunities, if these sounds desirable to you, I don't care if you're a student seeking an internship, you're a seasoned pro, or you're just beginning your career, I want you to start to explore what they can offer you by applying at mmrgrp.com. Apply now, mmrgrp.com.
Go to your search engine, MMR Baton Rouge. All you have to type in, and it will pull up everything that they have available in their careers. We don't say jobs, we say careers for a reason. Go to their website, mmrgrp.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your